We gotta keep that same energy. We gotta keep that same energy, man. And look, I'm gonna break it down. There's a lot to go over today, man. You got David Benavidez, the guy. Look, it sounds like David Benavidez and his team want to pick up so many, I guess, vacant belts that they would be the undisputed champion from simply vacated titles. Some people believe David Benavidez is genuinely being ducked. Some people believe this man is a fraud. So it's back and forth. Some people believe Jaron Ennis is overhyped. Some people believe he's great. We're going to break it all down. Anybody that want to talk, keep that same energy, click the link and you can get on with the landlord. Share your views, share your thoughts, and break it down. And we ready to get into this, man. We also need to address a few people. Ashy Knuckles, you got to get addressed. We got to address a few guys, man. We got to address some of these narratives. Any fanboys that got any problems, hating, anything like that, we can get into that as well. And as always, we got to give you our little caption. And that caption is, if you close the refrigerator door with your hips, this is not for you. This is not for you. If you eat a Snickers with the dick vein, this is not for you. It's not. We got to keep the same energy. Fanboys getting exposed. And look, we got one guy on here. And this guy's name, Led If Connor. He said, this channel loves Benavidez. Well, come on here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the link just for this guy. Because some guys are chat warriors. Some guys are pussies. Some guys are pussies like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the link. When we drop the link for if Connor or whatever your name is, and the link has been dropped, let's see if you eat a Snickers with the dick vein with your eyes closed. Let's see if you do that. Let's see if you do that. Let's see if you swallow that Snickers whole, or if you're a man and you're going to click that link and back up the words you're saying. Don't be a pussy now. Don't be a coward now. Don't be a coochie now. Be a man. Come on here and literally keep the same energy. Don't switch up. Don't fold. Don't be different, because I don't see you nowhere. That's what I mean. Dude talk all this crazy stuff, and now he's nowhere to be found. Now he's nowhere to be found. Come on now. Where you at? See, that's what I hate. I hate a chat warrior. I hate a chat warrior. My brother Brown Gone One said, this guy's not going to jump on. He probably licks his lips when David Benavidez takes his shirt off. Shaking my head, man. That's a damn shame. We like to welcome a few people to the panel. Fight Sports TV, what's good with you, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on again, as always. And, looking forward to the discussions.
Absolutely, man. And if you have not subscribed to Fight Sports Talk TV, please go ahead and subscribe to my brother. He got great content. And look, man, I know you might not agree with everything I say. You might not agree with everything he says, but he's a real boxing channel that's willing to discuss things with you. He's not one of them bitches that's going to say, oh, it's this way and ain't no other way. He's not that kind of guy. The guy will debate. Ashy Knuckles, get your ass up here, man.
Thank you, man. Can I just say this, man?
Yeah.
Whenever the name Ashy Knuckles, and look, Ashy, look, we're good, okay? We're good. There's no problem. But I just cannot get Supreme saying he emotional. I swear that I cannot get that out of my head. By the way, since I'm on, I'll just give my quick thoughts. Because I think Boogeyman is really, I think, there's a word, we use a phrase, living up to the hype. He did that for me because, clearly he was motivated, which was a big thing. He looked unmotivated in his last couple of fights where he didn't look good. Here he looked really good, and he looks like he's living up to the hype. Great athleticism, great skills. Standing onus is no joke. I'm not sure if Mario Barrios is going to be jumping to get into the ring with him. As far as him moving up to 154 and fighting Virgil Ortiz, that is a different story because his defense ain't the best. But as far as, we ask questions, is he Boots Ennis, or as you put it, is he Booty Ennis after he turned down Ortiz? I think he answered the critics well, and, I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. That was an eloquent, great breakdown, man. I've heard a lot of people all over the map with the Boots Ennis breakdown, so I really want to hear everybody's. Ashy Knuckles, man, we got to address something with you. So when you do click the link, get your ass up here, man, because I know a lot of people heard something you said last week, and we need to address that. So Ashy Knuckles, get your ashy ass up here, because we got some lotion for you. Let me get to everybody else on the panel today, man. Round one, what's up with you, my brother? What's good? Round one, are you there, my brother?
What's good, my mood, bro? What happened?
Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you, man. Solid as T, what's up, my brother?
Yo, what's good? What's good over here?
It's good to see you, my brother. It's good to see you, my brother.
Yep.
Carlos, what's good with you, my brother? You good?
What's up, Nuke? What's up, everyone? Everyone can hear me well?
Yes, sir. Salute, my brother. Salute.
Yeah, you're good.
Park Street, this is my dog. Park Street, what's up, my brother? What's up?
Hey, what's cracking, Luke? Hey, listen, man, I'm glad to be on, man. I've been tuning in and waiting on this shit, and yeah, it's time to talk some shit.
Absolutely, my brother. Oh, and when I said Ashy Knuckles, we're gonna get some lotion for you, I forgot to add a pause. Pause. I didn't mean nothing else. I didn't mean that no other way. Pause. Okay. Pero, what's up with you, my brother? What's good with you?
Yo, ABFP, you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You good, my brother? Salute.
Yes, salute. I'm actually a first-time caller. I've been listening to you since 2018, 2019, and just I think you got one of the best channels in YouTube right now. So a lot of the knowledge that I have is thanks to you.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that respect and that love, man. We definitely are ready to hear your opinion and your thoughts on everything. And we got Ashy Knuckles and Edgar here. So Ashy Knuckles, what's good with you, my brother? How you doing, my brother?
What's good, man? What you got to address me about, man?
Oh, I'm gonna address you in just 1 second, my brother. I want to check in with you first, Ashley. You good? You doing good, my brother? Everything, life is lovely. You good?
I'm always good.
Okay. Cause I seen Ashley Knuckles in the comments. Somebody's gonna eat somebody's mama's pussy, and I'm like, boy, Ashley already on one before the live start. This man is on one. Edgar Moreno, what's good with you, my brother?
What's good? Salute, Nuke. Salute to the panel. Glad to be on.
Always, my brother, man. It's always good to see the entire panel, man. Everybody's good. Before we jump into all the topics, the only thing that we got to address first is something you said, Ashley, last week. Ashley, do you remember saying anything reckless last week?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been waiting for you to address this.
Okay,
because when you address me, oh yeah, you talking about the wetback word, right? That's what you're talking about. Yeah,
so there was a point in the live stream.
Whoa. I'm gonna tell you just like I told one of the people in the chat that addressed me about the situation. When you tell the same dude that I said that word to, when he stopped using the word nigga, when he keep that word out of his fucking mouth, then maybe I'll keep that word out of my mouth. So until you address him about the nigga word that he done used on here about 150 million times, then you address me about the wetback word. Until then, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, Ashley. Okay, so let me ask you.
Zip that up.
Okay, now let me ask you a question, Ashley. Did he ever come in here and call you?
No. He don't use the word nigger.
Hold on, Ashley. Hold on, let me speak. Ashley,
you can't get around
Ashley, relax.
You can't get around that. You
Ashley,
can't get around it. There's no need to ask me about. Listen, man.
Hold on, bro. You don't even want me to respond.
There's no need to ask me any questions.
Say that you can't even let me respond.
Because you're asking me. No, you can't respond because for one,
I can't respond.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why you can't respond. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. For one, the word wasn't said to you. Now, if it don't apply, let it fly. Two, if anybody want to address it, he could address it. Am I right or am I wrong? How many times has he used that word nigga on his platform?
He has.
Thank you. So what makes the word nigga any more or less than the word wetback? Can you explain that to me?
No one's encouraging anything.
Okay, then. So the bottom line is this: why is you even addressing me if you know he don't use the nigga word? Why is you even trying to address me?
Ashley, let me respond. So it's not necessarily he's trying to slander you with the word. He wasn't calling you anything in a derogatory manner or term.
That's
He
not the
literally.
point.
So hold on,
Is
just
it
let me
is it a
finish. Ashley. Let me.
deplorable?
I let you
Is
speak.
the word
Ashley. I let you speak.
is it a
Hold on.
bad word? Yes or no?
Hold on,
Man?
Ashley. I let you speak. I let you speak. All I want is the floor. All I'm saying is you threw that out there as supreme, not because he dropped an N-bomb on you, not because he tried to go at you crazy with the N-word and said, hey, Ashley, this, and this, and you and this and this and this. He didn't go at you like that.
So tell me why did I say?
Hold on. You guys had some disagreements about boxing. He said the N-word many times on the show. I agree with you. He's always done that, but he never does it in a derogatory fashion. And secondly, and hold on, Ashley. Hold on 1 second. Let me finish, Ashley.
Okay.
Let me finish. I'm gonna let you talk. One, he never did it in a derogatory fashion, and two, every time he used it, it's never been a problem for you until you use the word wetback. Until you said that, it had never been a problem with him using the N-word. You never got up here once and said this guy's using the N-word. Hold on, Ashley, let me finish. You gotta let me finish. So you never had a problem with Supreme getting up here saying the N-word in a social conversation. You never had an issue. You never said, Nuke, man, this guy's being disrespectful, dropping N-bombs. He shouldn't talk like that. Like, that's offensive to me. You never once said any of that. What you did, now you want to get defensive because people say, hey, Ashley, you shouldn't call people names like that. You shouldn't take it to that level. It's a boxing conversation. Why are we escalating everything to a very derogatory state when it don't need to be like this? We all brothers. We all brothers. We all brothers. There's no need for this. There's no need for that. That's all I'm saying. It's not personal.
So basically you telling me wetback, saying wetback is worse than him saying nigga. That's basically what you're telling me.
No, I'm saying you didn't. He didn't. Did he call you an N-word in a derogatory
fashion?
Whether
is the talk, he's not black. First of all, he shouldn't be saying it out his fucking mouth. Period. Off the jump. If you want to be real, So what is you talking about? Why? Because he from the Bronx. Because he in the hood. He got permission to use that word. That's what you telling me? Because he don't say it in a derogatory. Because he don't say it in a derogatory term. It's cool for him to say it. That's what you telling me.
And hold on. I'm gonna let Edgar jump in. Everybody got their little. We're gonna move on to the boxing topic. I'm gonna let Edgar jump on. Because you know, fuck it. Ashley, you win this one, man. You got the body back. Here, I'm gonna put up a body back.
Damn right. Zip. How you like your bag? Zip or unzip?
You got the body.
How you like your bag, man? Zip to unzip.
Go on and zip that motherfucker up, Ashley.
Man, we gotta be men, man. If we supposed to be men, we can't be letting words affect us.
Exactly.
Thank you, Park Street.
I don't
listen,
man.
Ashley.
I gotta hear all kind of. Listen, man, I get disrespected all day when I come on here. People call me Ashley. They call me out my fucking name. All kind of shit. Soon as I get nasty, Ashley Knuckles, he said something derogatory. He called him a wet. He called him a wetback.
Hold on,
after another grown man telling another man that he like meat in his mouth and all this extra shit. As soon as I said the word wetback, everybody motherfucking in shambles.
Listen, Ashley,
now everybody clutching their pearls.
There's levels to things, Ashley. Just like in life, there's levels to everything. So basically, no. Hold on.
Okay,
like I said, there's levels to this. All those name calling that people do in the comments to you and all that other stuff, those are just funny. Like they're trying to be funny at you. The moment you said what you said, that's in the derogatory way.
So that's not derogatory. Calling another grown man a woman's name. That's not derogatory.
No, that's not. That's just poking fun at you. It isn't meant in a meaningful way. So how Nuke said it. You didn't have any problem. You didn't have any. Let me finish.
One second, Ashley, and I'll let you go.
You talk too much. So listen.
You're the idiot.
No.
You're the idiot. Next.
Because you can't understand simple logic of when it's meant in a hurtful way and when it's not meant in a hurtful way.
1 second.
You're ignorant. You're ignorant, bro. You're ignorant, bro. So basically, just how Nuke said, you never had a problem with it before, and then all of a sudden you had a problem with it.
Like
I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
when the word
you didn't
taken out your mouth.
You don't let anyone speak. You don't let anyone speak. All you do is talk and fly a plane for 15 hours.
Let us speak, man. Let us speak.
Like, bro, you just keep talking and cutting people off. Like, bro, you might as well just get your own show.
You're not going to compare the word wetback to nigga to me. You're not going to compare those two words and try to make it like.
I know. We'll move on with the conversation. Edgar, there you go, my brother.
Listen, that's all I'm trying to say is Nuke is trying to explain to you you never had a problem with it before, and now all of a sudden you have a problem with it. And the word you used was meant in a meaningful, hurtful way. Before you didn't have any issue with it, and he is from
You could
the
use the
Bronx.
word all
And
you want. Just don't get mad when I use the word you don't like. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, because he never dropped a hard R. He never dropped a hard R.
I don't give a
He
fuck.
never dropped
He
a hard
shouldn't be
R.
saying it,
And
period.
listen,
He shouldn't be saying it,
he is
period.
from New York. He is from New York.
That's fine.
And
That's
in New
fine.
York,
Look, I'm
everybody
gonna
says
just
that.
tell you
Because
this.
you from New York, that's the
All right,
cast
fellas.
now.
All right, fellas. Let's move on to the boxing topic. And we
Sorry.
got Edgar
all right.
hold on. We got Edgar and Ashley already. Everybody got their opinions out. Does anybody, Brim, Solidus, Park Street, Fight Sports, Carlos, Piero, does anybody got anything they want to add to this before we move on to the boxing topic?
I want to add something. I just want to add something real quick before we get to the boxing. Ain't that word went back towards? Hey Edgar, you're Mexican, right? Towards like
That's
Mexican.
right. Yeah. Most of the time,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
you're right.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not used to. I think Supreme like Puerto Rican and Dominican.
That's right. In
being
Dominican,
called a
right?
wetback. You know what I mean?
He doesn't even use the correct. He doesn't even use the correct one.
You know what I mean? I don't take offense from that, but if I was Mexican, I would get offended. But like, it would be a different word. Like,
Listen, bro.
towards,
Listen, Carlos. It's like
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And Ashley, Ashley runs his mouth and he's all big and loud and proud over on a screen. But in real life, if that was said into a person of our descent in real life, he would have something to be addressed. And I don't know if he's ready to cross that street in that point in time.
All right, so answer this question. Hold on, I want to address that. I want to address that.
Let me say this real quick.
Hold on, let me address what dude just said. So you're telling me if you're in the street, right, and somebody off this panel you don't know came up to you and just kept calling you a woman's name, you wouldn't say shit. That's not disrespectful to you. There ain't nothing for you to get slapped over. There ain't nothing for you to get checked. I'm asking you a simple yes or no question.
This is so pointless.
It's just a simple yes or no.
This is irrelevant as hell, bro.
Simple yes or no.
All right, let's
This is what the If you want respect, you got to gain it. You're not going to sit here and talk to me, call me anything you want just because you feel it's jokes to me and don't expect for me to say something that you don't like. If you don't like it, don't say shit to me. That's just what it is.
Hold on. This is what we'll do going forward. If we like to keep it raw and uncut here, and so that's what we do. But so we'll just move forward and just take things as they come, man. That's what we'll do.
Thank you.
Amen.
All right. And so one second. Let me read these comments and then we'll start the whole thing. The first thing is Real Talk Combat, and he says Ashy closes his eyes when he wipes his ass. Salute to Real Talk Combat. Mr. Wright says Ashy is the DEI panel member. That's fucked up.
It's a firing squad out here. It's a firing squad.
I mean, look, man, we're going to keep it raw and uncut. I guess that's what we're going to do. I guess that's how we're going to do it from now on. So this is what we're going to do. All right, so let's keep it going.
Let's move forward.
We got a couple people on the panel. We got Brim on here, and we got GMO Media TV. Brim, how you doing, my brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? I'm off on a Tuesday, and I'm ready to face the firing squad today. And I'm gonna be very calm as I face this firing squad and give some facts in this matter because I'm a fair-minded person. So I'm gonna go ahead and preface this with this, and then a question to everybody on the panel. Jaron Ennis looked phenomenal Saturday, and I expected him to look very well. I thought Stan was going to give a little bit more pushback in the earlier rounds, but he just dominated, clear through. It was one round sooner than I expected. He ain't nothing to be played with. We're going to put some respect on Boots' name, straight up. But, Stan, one fight in 3 years. I'm not taking anything away from Boots. I definitely want to do that. But just going into the fight, there was no expectation for me to think he was actually going to win the fight, in my opinion. It was a few people that picked him, but I don't know if they picked it out of spite or whatever have you. But, Boots is talented, and he puts things together really well in that fight. So my question to you guys, first and foremost, and I need it one by one straight up, do y'all call Norman and Duck in regards to the Boots fight situation? Yes or no, real quick.
What?
The question again?
Do you consider Norman a duck in regards to the situation with the Boots fight for the first negotiation?
Yes, that
or
was
no?
a clear duck.
absolutely.
Anybody
Yes.
saying that's
Yeah,
not a
that
duck
was a
is trying to
Okay,
cover for Norman.
okay, that's
This
new guy.
dude is
Okay,
fighting on a
okay,
woman's
just
undercard.
tell me yes or no. That's all. Just yes or no. Give me yes or no, real
Absolutely.
quick.
That's an
Okay,
emphatic
just two.
yes. That's an
Yeah.
emphatic yes.
Okay, who else?
Yes,
Who,
yes,
okay, Nancy
yes.
Knuckles,
Absolutely,
yes,
very
right?
clear.
Everybody say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so nobody says no. Everybody says yes, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
I'm finna get into the fire now. Y'all gotta give me a little bit of time to try to bring this to y'all before y'all attack me. But just let me give you the timeline,
Just make,
and then
just
y'all
make the
tell me
point.
what you
Just
think.
make the point.
Because I'm finna get
Just make the
smoked
point.
up in here by y'all, but y'all gotta let me at least give you the facts, okay?
How
Y'all
about
cool
you
with
just make
that?
the point instead of saying you're
Yeah,
going
let's
to make the
take it.
point?
Go
Just
ahead.
make the point. Just make the point.
Okay. Going into before all this, you got to remember the Teofimo Lopez fight was on the table before Teofimo went the other direction, right? So in that process, Boots wasn't even in the question. And then before anything was spoken about the fight, Bozy had already spoken to Norman Sr. about making it the undisputed fight in regards to the fight beforehand. So Matchroom went to Barrios and Stanley Onis first. The offer for Barrios was 1.9 or 2 mil, and the offer for Stanley Onis got up to 1.8. Both of them said no and went the other direction. By the time you get to talking to Brian Norman's team and trying to make a fight for it, you're dealing with an order that's been put in July 31st to Karen. You do not contact Karen in any form, in any capacity. You do not pay the $20K to the IBF to submit the paperwork so you can be able to make your unification. You're running out of time. Karen goes up July 18th and submits his paperwork because nobody reached out and contacted him, which was 14 days early than the 30-day order. Once that paperwork hits the IBF, the fight is dead. So here's the first problem with the entire premise of the process of what transpired. Boots' interview was filmed by YSM on August the 20th. It came out on August the 22nd. That's when the public found out about the fight and all the things that came with it. All the things that was public, which was the 1.5 and the $1.7 million offer, all happened when it was public. The problem with that is on August the 18th, when Karen submitted that paperwork, the fight was officially dead and the public did not know about it. This was confirmed by Daryl Peoples when I brought this information to Rachel Dornaire because I saw something that did not make sense in the process because I was privy to a little bit of information that some people didn't have. And so when you look at the process of it, and I'm not going to go crazy and be like, oh, Eddie Hearn, you crazy crook. No. Because you had a very short timeline to try to make a fight because Karen was about to drop that order on you. But the problem is if you offer 750 for a first offer, then a mil, then you get the 1.2, you get into a good number. But when the 1.5 came about, I was talking with them. I'm on panels with my man, with a couple people, and this was happening during the public process. So at that time, I did not know. And I'm telling them, yo, 1.5, 1.7, I think I'd take that. I'm telling them I would take that. But that happened publicly. The fight was there before the public even fucking knew. Eddie Hearn's a genius.
Okay.
Right.
So hold on. Before we get into this, look, I'm gonna tell you this: the whole Brian Norman thing is old news. Hold on 1 second. The whole Brian Norman thing is old news.
Yeah,
it's clear that he ducked. This is just running for cover. And let me ask you a quick question.
You say run for cover. They had less than a week to make the fight, dog. They had less than a week to make the fight. Less than a week. Less than a week.
Okay.
I get all that. I get all that. 1 second.
No, you don't, because everybody disavows those facts. Everybody ignores all the facts that are actually transpiring. Everybody.
So basically, what you're saying is that you're basically saying that Eddie Hearn was negotiating based off bad faith. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying, right?
In a way, absolutely, because the fight was dead before anything publicly was known, and all the offers of 1.7 and 1.5 happened publicly, but the fight was already dead, which was dead on August the 18th. We knew publicly August the 22nd. And then everything else happened publicly was all bullshit, was all fluff, because the fight was already dead. IBF was not going to allow any type of unification. Your belt get taken from you if you try to fight.
IBP, I can answer this in a minute. If you mind if I just jump in?
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you jump in. I'm gonna just preface everything, and then we're gonna move on from this because we got like a lot of topics, and we already know. And I'm sorry, I just got to say, we already know Brian Norman Jr.'s coochie. He was trying to sell his O. He ducked a career high payday. These are all facts. All of this stuff is back talk. We are, and I'm siding with Ring IQ on this. I'm sorry. I agree with the actual facts. You can say what you want to say, fight sports, and then we'll move on to the other topics.
Yeah, this is easily debunkable because what you're doing, Brim, is you're pointing out semantics. Like, the fact is, he was offered more money than he's ever been offered before, and it's very convenient in boxing. Again, anybody who's a real boxing fan knows this. It's very convenient to hide behind deadlines. So pointing out technicalities on what could have happened is simply, it's ignoring the fact. Yes or no, did he turn down a career high payday? Yes, he did. Yes, he spoke publicly against it. He didn't say, "Oh, I would have taken it, but this deadline, that deadline, etc." So again, you point out semantics that really are pretty irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and to add to that, if Brian Norman and his team accepted that offer, they could have extended it, right? They could have extended the time frame to move the goalposts in terms of making sure that negotiation was set through. So they actually had more time than what you said. Eddie Hearn allowed them a week or so, whatever the case may be. They could have actually had more time if they accepted the offer. They could have done an extension, and those are factors out there as well. So,
yeah, before August the 18th, that was before the public knew. So everything that was publicly 1.5 and 1.7 happened during the public. Everything that was before public, yes, but all that happened publicly. That means that those offers were not on the table during the actual negotiations because the fight was already dead. You couldn't get any extension at that point. I've already confirmed that. Daryl Peoples has already confirmed that. The moment that Karen submitted that paperwork and it was ratified, those letters went out on the 20th, the fight was dead. No unifications could be made. And that's before any one of us knew about the fight. Normans didn't even know that. I did the research. I read the bylaws of the IBF. I asked the questions. So everybody can say cap and all that. I think it's a beautiful play to make the fight bigger when it's time for what it's going to be. And it is what it is. But I'm not going to sit here and scream duck on somebody for a fight that's less than a week to be made because there are certain things that was not done. Call it what you like, but I've seen those things.
Okay. We'll move on from that. So just to recap, Ring IQ, you're 100% right on everything. Brian Norman is the biggest duck and coochie this side of the Mississippi, and that's what it is. And now let's move on to the next topic. We ain't nobody finna take no cover for no pussy. We just not finna do it. It would have been different if he would approach things different, but he's trying to sell his oath to the highest bidder, and he would have sold it to Diddy if it would have came right. So I'm not finna really get into this. It is what it is. I'm glad you shared your thoughts, Brim. I know that's your boy, and I know you don't want to see him go out like this. I get all that, but it's too late. He's already a straight coochie. All right, let's get to the and we got some Jaron Ennis talk where people calling him overhyped. We got some Jaron Ennis talk where people calling him overrated. We're gonna jump into this Benavidez topic first. The first thing with David Benavidez is that we got to address. Before we do this, let me get to my brother GMO. I didn't get to talk to you yet. GMO, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
You already know what it is. Great man of God Media TV. Happy to be on the panel with y'all, man. I followed you to a T. This is my first time in a while I've been on the panel. Here to talk about boxing for a few minutes with you guys. So I'm just happy to be talking about boxing with you guys. So that's what's up.
Okay, perfect. All right, so David Benavidez and his team are going the route of saying that they're willing to get Dimitri Bivol stripped of the WBA world title. Ashley Knuckles, what do you think about that?
Just fight the man. That's all he got to do, man.
You feel like Bivol, all he got to do is just fight David, and all this goes away?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I mean, it's really no simpler than that. You fight the man, all the shit goes away.
Solid, what's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I guess he's trying to break up the trilogy fight somehow. I guess, he's really confident he can beat him because he claims he had a successful sparring session with him. So he's like really gunning for him. That's what I'm taking from that.
Yeah. I mean, Jose Sr. said that Dimitri Bivol couldn't last 2 rounds with David in sparring. Like he couldn't go 2 rounds with David in sparring, which is crazy to me because he went all these rounds with Better BF. It just seems weird.
I like Benavidez, but I That's something I might have to see to believe.
Me too.
Yeah, y'all gonna see it, and that's what's wrong with everybody, man. Everybody Benavidez get in the ring with, man. They don't look the same when they fight him, man.
Oh,
Y'all just gonna have to accept the fact that he's gonna be the new shit. Y'all just don't want to admit that, but eventually y'all will.
Ashy, stop it.
No,
Okay?
there's some truth. There's some truth to what he's saying. Like if they fight, that could happen. Benavidez is that good, but then it also could go the wrong way too.
What I was going to say, look, I'm a Benavidez fan. I keep saying I think Benavidez beats Dimitri Bivol, but the idea that Dimitri Bivol is going to come out with years off of his life, etc. Like let's not go.
Ain't nobody say that. I just said
hold on. Like don't make me pull out my your emotional clip. Everybody knows that,
and that's what's wrong. That's why I don't like
shut
you
up
anyway.
for more than 5 seconds.
I done told you.
I'm sorry, guys. I got no.
You don't do nothing but hop
patience for
around
this
to
guy.
everybody fucking stations and try to get on their shit and talk like you know what the fuck you talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Dude.
I do know what I'm talking about.
Get in your lane. Get in your fucking lane and act like you got sense. Don't come to me talking to me like you're telling me something, because you're not telling me.
I am telling you
something. So shut the fuck up and wait your turn to talk to me. I don't got nothing to say to you, so you don't got to even say nothing.
He was talking before you interrupted him.
I don't fuck. He was talking. He talking to me though. I don't.
But he was talking before you interrupted him. Let him talk.
Hey, I don't know neither one of y'all, but this is my attempt at trying to mediate. Is it possible y'all can squash it? Because y'all was arguing last time.
Nah, because he's real disrespectful. He's a real disrespectful dude. Because I hear how he talks on different shows. He don't get on these shows and get the disrespectful mouth like he do when he get over here. Especially when he talk to me, he feel like I'm some child, one of his play kids or something. I told him before, if I ever see him in person, he was to say something slick out his mouth like that, I would slap his face off his fucking head. I done told him that.
Okay,
but he don't listen.
Look, look.
Hey, I
told you, man. Don't say nothing to me. Anything you got to say to me, you say the new. Don't say nothing to me.
But he was trying to address what the other guy said, and you just kind of
he said Ashley,
relax.
Let
Fight Sports talk. Fight Sports.
Yeah, it sounds like we're a strip club. It sounds like we're around a bunch of bitches. That's what it sounds like.
Thank you,
We
Bart.
supposed to be grown-ass men, and y'all worried about what another man is talking about. Come on, bro. Come on. That's emotional as fuck.
Okay,
I'm just
gonna go back in the box.
Door, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back into boxing.
Agreed.
Okay, this is not worth having a big discussion over. There's no reason. As somebody who thinks David Benavidez beats Bivol, there's no reason to think that this is a duck or anything. Like, it's just he's going with the guy who's paid him the most money. He's going with the trilogy, and pray to God that we get this fight next year. I think this talk that Jose is coming out with about getting him stripped of the WBA, it's all talk. I mean, Jose Benavidez loves the sound of his own voice. It's all just BS at the end of the day. They're going to hopefully fight Callum Smith, and I'm glad that fight is being talked about. And then we'll see if Alberto, hopefully we can get a conclusive winner in this trilogy. Hopefully the winner will fight Benavidez, and hopefully maybe Alberto Ramirez comes up the rankings, whatever. But yeah, they're not going to get him stripped of two world titles. They got him stripped of the WBC because the WBC were very quick to mandate the fight, and we all know why that is. It was all a political decision. They're not going to get him stripped of the WBA. It's just all talk. Hopefully the Smith fight happens, and then we get to see Benavidez against the winner of the trilogy.
I got a question. Y'all think the fight between the winner of Bivol and Benavidez versus Benavidez will happen this year or next year?
Next year.
And that's sad. That's sad.
I'm hoping this year.
Hold on. What did you say, Carlos? What was your question again? I want to make sure I got it.
I said the winner between Bivol and Benavidez fights Benavidez. You think that's gonna happen this year or next year? Like the end of this year?
It has to happen next year. They said that they're planning the Bivol Benavidez trilogy is going to be in October, I believe. So that's not going to happen at the end of the year, and so and that's it. So I don't know, man. I think no matter who wins the trilogy, I think either one of those guys beat David, but I think David's a good fighter. I think he's earned his shot. I want to see him get his shot. I'm not opposed to David getting his shot. I'm not no David Benavidez hater. I want to see him get his shot. I do think he deserves it, and I would like to see him get it. In the meantime, David is likely going to fight Callum Smith. The only issue that I have with Callum Smith, and this is why I got to roast David Benavidez, is that this man came out years ago and stated that Canelo Alvarez's run at 168 was weak. He said Canelo's run was weak. All those guys was garbage and bums. And now all of a sudden, he fights Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant's a good fighter after Canelo knocked him out. And if he turns around and fight Callum Smith, they're in negotiations right now. If he fights Callum Smith, that's another supposed weak fighter that he's going to want credit and praise for after he's already been knocked out by Beterbiev. So all I'm saying is keep the same energy. Do you think, Ashy Knuckles, that David Benavidez was acting like a straight bitch when he turned around and tried to say that Canelo's run at 168 was weak?
No, I don't think he acting like a bitch because he said that. He's
Why
saying
not?
whatever he got to say to get your boy to fight. It's him who don't want to fight. It's not like
Hold on,
David
you
don't
didn't
want
answer
to
the
fight.
question. Hold on. Ashley.
I said no.
How is it a weak run, but he wants credit? So you're saying he don't get credit for the Caleb Plant fight, right?
Yeah, he can get play. Yeah, he gonna get credit. He's
So how is it a weak run? So it can't be a weak run, right? It was a good run, right?
Talking about what is you asking me?
I'm asking, was Canelo's run weak or was it a good run at 168 when he fought all the champions?
In 11
You
months.
call Billy Joe Sanders, and I don't consider that with no gauntlet. I don't consider that nothing rough he had to go through.
So if he never went through anything rough, then David Benavidez's resume is soft as toilet paper because one of his best wins was Caleb Plant,
Canelo
right?
is a great man. Those who was champion at the time when he went through 168 was nothing. David would have ran through them just like he ran through them. He didn't want to fight David.
I mean,
that
he
just
had the
wasn't-
opportunity to do
Y'all
that.
don't want to admit that.
He had the
But
opportunity.
all those who really know
This
boxing,
is another
we all
dumb
know.
narrative.
We all
This is
know the
another-
man don't want to fight him.
IBF, could I ask you that question?
He had the opportunity.
Yeah. Let me go to Solidus, GMO, Park Street, Edgar, Carlos, Brim, and Fight Sports. Go first, Solidus.
As far as like them comments Benavidez made when he said his run at 168 was weak, honestly, I think he was just saying that to like bait Canelo. Because what I've noticed about Benavidez is he'll say some shit. It might not be entirely true, but it's to piss Canelo off to like try to motivate him to fight him. I think that's what he's trying to do. And
Man,
then
listen, man, you can't motivate nobody.
Hold up. His actual run, Canelo Alvarez, his actual run at 68. I didn't really see nothing wrong with it. I mean, he fought who was the champions at the time, so fuck it. That's we got to fight the beat. Then fuck it. I didn't think it was weak. I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was weak, but it wasn't like it's not like he had to go through a fucking. The only thing I'm saying is it's not like he had to go through a gauntlet. Like he had to go through.
Yeah, it wasn't the toughest. It wasn't the toughest of fighters he had to fight. That's true, but that's who had the belt. So fuck it.
My problem with that.
So why didn't David do it? So why didn't David just run through them and become unified?
I mean, if he get the chance to do it, I'm pretty sure
David would have been unified. David
He
would
had
have
the
been
chance to fight
unified.
Plant. They were on the same side of the
Listen,
street.
man, your boy would have been unified by now.
Bro, you guys don't keep the same energy. Like, I guarantee you,
Right, they don't
if
keep the
David
same
would have
energy.
taken all those
He would've
fights and won
unified by
those
what?
belts, you guys would have fucking praised him like he's God.
You say we
Let me say this.
If
What are you gonna
David
say?
would have taken those fights and beat those guys and cleaned out the division,
respond to
he
that.
had a decade to do so. He didn't do so. We don't know why. Only you guys seem to know why. But if he would have
let me
done it,
respond.
you guys would have praised the shit out of him.
Let me respond to that. It's not, I think the problem, because I notice you come up a lot, because in the other channel I be on, it's always you. The problem is there's a lack of understanding. Everybody's career is going to go differently. You're not going to do what the next fighter did. I think you keep missing that for some reason.
No.
His career is not going to
Wait. In what regard?
Let Solidus say this.
No, his career went differently than Canelo's. We all know that. So I'm not even tripping off that. He was at the division for a long time and didn't do certain things. Okay, that's fine. I'm not even mad at that. What I'm saying is those guys that Canelo fought at 168, yeah, that's true. They weren't really the best of challenges. He did run through them, but that's who he had to fight to get that status. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. I thought that was great what Canelo did. That's all we're saying. If Benavidez was in that same position, he most likely would have did the same thing. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders could have beat
in that
David
same position.
Hold on, nigga. Hold on, nigga. Let him finish.
Listen, bottom
he was,
line.
if
Bottom
Benavidez
line,
was in that same
Benavidez-
position, he would have did the same thing. If
Bottom
you don't
line,
think he can't,
Benavidez had the opportunity to unify and he didn't. Canelo
That's a
did it
fact.
in 11 months.
Exactly.
That's a
In
Like, bro,
11
undisputed.
Party bag.
He was
Him
in
with
the
a party
division
in a building.
way longer than Canelo. Canelo just popped
nah,
up.
but
And
you heard what I said.
One second, Solidus. One second. Only thing I want to say is let's not forget. Not only was David Benavidez at the weight for all this time, he could have done all of that. He could have unified. But let's not also forget that Canelo's undersized for the division and fought all these guys before they even had any losses, defeats, anything. He fought all of these guys when they were at their absolute best. When David fought Caleb Plant, hold on, Solidus. Let me finish. Caleb Plant wasn't at his absolute best. No, he wasn't. Caleb Plant had already been stopped. So what I mean is this man had already been stopped, been put to the ringer. Canelo already put the beat down on this boy. And then he still won almost half the fight against David. And David couldn't even get him out of there. Who's to say he would have won 3 more rounds? He would have won the fucking fight.
Shit, they were saying
3
Plant
rounds.
was.
So maybe
Listen,
if
man,
Canelo's fight wouldn't have happened and David would have caught him early, there's a reason why David didn't want to unify with Callum Smith, didn't want to unify with Caleb Plant. He didn't want to unify with these guys. And there was a reason for that. And so we can't give him a cookie for beating a Caleb Plant after Canelo already stopped him. And I'm not going to give him a cookie for saying, oh, you said that Callum Smith was nothing. But now all of a sudden, I guarantee you, if that fight signed tomorrow, he's going to be on his knees talking, man, that's a hell of a fighter. This is a great challenge. I want all the credit for this. Fuck that.
Yeah.
He want to call these guys bums 1 minute, and the next minute, these guys are good fighters. No, fuck that. Anybody
let me say this.
is a fucking hater, man.
Let me say this. What Canelo did at 68, he's really a 160 pounder and he fought at 68. That was very impressive. I don't have a problem with what he did. I'm just acknowledging that, it wasn't the best of competition, but it was who had the belts. In regard to Benavidez, I
got to stop you there. It was the best of competition. It was the best of competition.
That sounds contradicting as fuck.
It was the best of competition. What were you saying, Clavo?
Billy Joe Saunders.
You telling me? Wait a minute. You telling me? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Champion. What are you
no, hold on.
about?
You're telling me that a small ass guy.
He had a chance against Canelo.
Hold on. You telling me? You telling me that a small ass guy.
Billy was going to school Canelo.
He went up in weight.
Okay,
you did say that.
I can do this.
And a two-weight division champ.
A two-weight division champ. And
hold on.
And David just got emailed his second belt.
Can I please just ask this question?
I want to tell you what Clavo has to say. We'll shoot right back to you. Clavo, go ahead.
Bro, there is no motherfucking way I just heard what the fuck I heard. We're talking about a small guy that's on his fucking 5th weight class. Fucking cleared out a whole division of nothing but prime. Undefeated world champions within 11 fucking months.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're actually contradicting yourself, Solid.
Can I jump in on this?
Can I ask this question just real quick?
Go ahead.
I want y'all to be honest. Please be honest. Who the fuck thought Billy Joe Sanders had a chance against Canelo? Who actually thought that?
A lot of people.
They were fucking saying they were accusing him of ducking him.
Hold on one second, Solid. So this is what doesn't make sense. He said, who thought that Billy Joe Saunders had a chance against Canelo? You're talking about after everybody on this panel just seen Billy Joe Saunders get his face broken and got retired by Canelo. Prior to the fight, half of the boxing world believed Billy Joe Saunders could outbox Canelo. He had better skills, better footwork. He had a longer reach. Canelo was at the disadvantage. Everybody was picking Billy Joe Saunders. And the fact that you act like, oh, he never had a chance. He was this, he was that. That's bullshit. I remember when Canelo fought Rocky Field and they said he would never fight Callum Smith. The moment he fought Callum Smith, all these guys disappeared into oblivion. This is what I mean. It's always something, and when it comes to a narrative,
if you would Canelo ducking Billy Joe Saunders at the time.
The problem that I have is these guys don't keep the same energy. If you kept the same energy then that we do now, we wouldn't have this issue. David cannot say Canelo's run at 68 was weak when he turns around and he's trying to fight all the same guys. You can't say that. So now he needs to admit that Canelo actually had he needs to admit that Canelo had an excellent run. He needs to admit that Canelo had an excellent run, and all he was doing was hating. That's all he was doing. He was hating on Canelo. Hold on, he was hating on Canelo because he didn't do what he should have done. That was it. He should have been unifying. You shouldn't wait till the money man come into the division to unify. He was sitting on his ass.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
In the words of my brother Supreme, he made himself the biggest Coke sandwich he could and lost his belt. He made a big Coke sandwich and lost his belt. He lost his belt twice. Due to nonsense.
Do you know what?
That's not Canelo's fault. That's his fault.
Exactly.
We gotta stop this hating.
Hey, fight sport.
Do y'all know what Benavidez career could be problems though?
Hold on.
Everybody one by one. Fight sports. Fight sports. Edgar, Ashley, Brim. Go.
Well, first of all, Edgar wanted to ask me a question. Go ahead.
So fight sport. I mean, like, look, I'm pretty sure I'm going to allude to what maybe you might say right now. Like not you, but other, Benavidez fanboys keep going back to Canelo. They keep pointing the finger back to Canelo. They keep saying, oh, he says this, he says that, to try to get under his skin, to try to do this and that. At this point, you or those people, those fanboys have to fucking look themselves in the mirror and realize that fight is off the table for the foreseeable future. The only way that fight is made is if one promoter comes up with the better part of $200 million. That's it. Don't bring it up. Ashley, do not bring it up unless you're gonna acknowledge that. Okay?
We don't mind. Listen, man, we don't mind. We don't mind if the fight is off because when it's all said and done, it's going to be Canelo that's going to look. It's going to be Canelo that's going to look.
No, he doesn't. His legacy is set in stone.
Just real quick. Go ahead, my brother.
All right. Well, Edgar, I've been saying for the last few months that I've got no interest in talking about Benavidez.
Right, and that's why I said I didn't say you.
Okay, but can I just because this gives me a chance to clear something up because I've talked about Canelo's run at super middleweight and some people on this who tune into the show have pulled me up on it. I've never said Canelo's run at super middleweight was weak. There are certain charlatans channels that have said that. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. I've never said it was weak. I said that there were no elite, that none of the fighters Canelo beat were elite. I said that Usyk's run at cruiserweight was a lot better. I said that Inoue's run at bantamweight was better, but I never said Canelo's run at super middleweight was weak. So Benavidez was just talking shit, and this is where words come back to bite you in the ass. His run at super middleweight was okay. Well, his run at super middleweight, I've talked about again. None of the fighters were elite, and Billy Joe Saunders was a paper champion. But saying that it was weak and therefore he doesn't deserve any credit for the wins, that is complete BS. That's that.
Okay, it sounds like you're
let me go to Carlos first because Carlos wanted to respond. Carlos, what were you going to say?
No, I just want to say this, that one, I disagree with you about Yusuke and Inoue's run was better than Canelo's at 168. Not only that, Canelo had a disadvantage in height, weight, and reach. He did it in 11 months. And not only that, he did it one by one. These fighters had a deal, had a coupon deal. They had one belt, or they did it all in one fight to become undisputed. He had to work each and every fight to gain all those belts, to collect all those belts, which is way harder. It's not like, for example, right now Benavidez has the WBC belt. If the winner between Benavidez and Bivol, he beats them, he gets all the 4 belts at one fight. So that's why I disagree with that, because
I haven't
doing it one by one is way more.
Hold on, I never said anything about Benavidez becoming undisputed. He hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't even. I don't consider him a champion at light heavyweight yet. He's got a lot. He needs to beat somebody like Callum Smith. I was just talking about Canelo having a run at super middleweight, which was not weak. I just said it wasn't the strongest. Usyk, and this is probably for another day, Usyk's run at cruiserweight was much tougher. But that's just my opinion. His run at super middleweight, again, not weak, not cans, just not elite. But there's a difference between there being no elite fighters and it being a weak run. It wasn't weak.
And Fight Sport, let me ask you a question. Why would David say that Canelo had a weak run then? If it wasn't weak, even by your standards, why would he say it was weak?
because Benavidez was just saying whatever was on his mind, not thinking that it was going to come back and bite him in the ass.
Yeah, because he was hating, essentially.
Yeah,
That's what
Benavidez just talked in the moment, and he didn't think about, I'm going to be fighting these guys like Caleb Plant, like Callum Smith later on.
I mean, well,
it's going to make them look real bad.
This is the same David that was calling out, begging for Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga fights. And so, but the fans will criticize Canelo, but if once you clean out a division, then you can fight those guys because you beat out all the champions. And that's what matters. And anyway, man, let me get to Clavo. Hold on, Clavo, did you want to follow up on this topic as well? Because I didn't get your thoughts on this.
I mean, because look, there's no way to say that run at 168 was weak. To me, it was impressive. We're talking about a small guy, cleared him out, had all the fucking disadvantages. On top of that, let's not forget, bro, he gave these motherfuckers paydays that they really didn't deserve, but he got them. Why? Because they were champions. Caleb, I mean, look, yes, Billy Joe Saunders, vacant belt with him and Chris Eubanks. I get that. But Callum Smith, winner of the fucking Boxing Super Series, and Caleb beat another world champion in Uzbekistan. I mean, these were actually world champions. Again, in their prime, you know what I'm saying? World champions. I mean, there's really no, yeah, Usyk, I get that. Usyk, and in a way, yeah. These guys were fucking multi-division world champions. Yes, I actually get that. But regardless, this is a Canelo that, bro, according to his size, you shouldn't really be at 168. You started at 140. So, yeah, it's very, very impressive. You know what I'm saying? Let's not leave all that shit out. You know what I'm saying? And with the fucking payday. So, there ain't no way. I mean, there's no way anybody could discredit that run, regardless. So, if David said that, we already know what it was. You trying to bait Canelo. Right. You want to bait Canelo, but you already know Canelo doesn't ever care what people say, bro. Canelo doesn't never give a fuck about what.
That's basically the same thing I said.
Hey, Nuke, I want to address what you said about.
What are you gonna say, Ashley?
I want to address the part about Benavidez not being a champion because he's a so-called email champion. I want to put this out there. If he's an email champion, he's not considered an email champion because he was given a belt. Then your boy Bivol is not undisputed because he was given a belt. Let's not forget about that. So we're gonna keep the same energy.
Talking about giving a belt.
He was given a belt.
Did he not fucking beat Benavidez, the unified champion?
He did not win all three of those belts. Sorry, Clavo. You could come on.
No, sorry, Ashley, you're emotional.
It's not going to change the fact. It's not going to change the fact. It's not going to change the fact that Bivol has been given the belt. Okay,
bro. So you're gonna ignore the fact that he beat Benavidez, a unified champion. Wait. So only one belt. Wait a minute. So he was only elevated with one belt, which is the WBA. He was elevated for one belt, the WBA, but the other three belong to better be the unified champion at 175. Bro, shut the fuck up, bro.
One of his belts he didn't fight for, so he's really not undisputed. If you want to keep the same energy, because y'all said David Benavidez is not a champion till he beat somebody, right? So you're comparing a one belt champion to an undisputed champion. His belt, he's really not undisputed because he didn't fight for it. He was given.
First off, we didn't say.
Wait a minute, he fought for it.
Nah, that's what y'all was saying. Stop it, man. Stop.
Yo, he fought better.
Bro, this idiot. Hold up. This dude said that he's not fucking undisputed when he got 3 of the belts by beating Benavidez. Over one fucking belt. One belt. The WBA. That's it.
If we're going off the energy that y'all said that David Benavidez is not a champion,
the panel didn't say this, Ashley.
Then your boy that was given his belt, he needed to fight for.
The Fight Sports said this. That was his opinion. But the point is, David Benavidez still did not fight a champion for the belt. But you qualify this situation as a duck, correct? You
damn right.
You stupid.
Damn right. It's a fucking duck.
Yeah.
Damn right. Because you know why? You know why? You know why I'm gonna say it's a duck. You know why I'm gonna say it's a duck because. If he turn after this fight is over, if he don't turn around and fight David Benavidez, what is that? If he don't win his undisputed belt,
so you're calling him a duck for this, and you're gonna call him a duck for that.
That's what y'all gonna say, right? He don't want the belt to Suleiman.
You ask questions, and then you ask questions.
I done told you, don't ask me nothing. I done told you that.
You shut up for more than 5 seconds.
Let him finish.
I told you, tell your mom.
Hold on 1 second, Ashley. Go ahead, Fight Sports. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen next year. If Benavidez stays at 175 and he and he and Bivol try to get a fight on and one of them pulls out, then yeah, one of them ducks the other. But that hasn't happened yet. So we're just looking into the future. Again, there are some people who are in the comments just very quickly who are saying that I gave Benavidez extra credit for David Morrell. No, other people did. I said the Morrell win was good, nothing more. I'm not giving Benavidez credit for things he hasn't done yet. So I just wanted to clear that up. But nobody's done Benavidez at 175 yet.
Could I ask the Edgar guy a quick question?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm still tripping off that Billy Joe Saunders. You're the biggest Canelo fan, Edgar. That's your guy. Was there any thought in your mind that Billy Joe Saunders could potentially upset him when it was announced they were going to fight?
It was a competitive fight. Yes, I believe there was a competitive fight. He was a southpaw. He was elusive. What everyone said Canelo struggled with, that he would not be able to cut up the ring and he would lose rounds and then he might not be able to stop him. And what did he do? He stopped him. So it was. I'm not saying I was gonna think. My hope was that Billy Joe was gonna win. No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that it was a competitive fight.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you. I didn't say competitive. Did you think there was a chance that Billy Joe Saunders could potentially upset Canelo and win that fight?
Yes, possibly. Yes.
Definitely could have been. Based off his style, you know that Canelo has problems with boxers. Slick boxers.
That's why. Solidus, let me ask you a question.
That was a major concern.
Solidus, why do you think that people are interested?
Fan. You didn't think that man was going to lose. Stop lying to yourself.
Hold on. I got a quick question for Solidus.
In your mind.
Stop your mind. You're lying to yourself in the panel. Stop lying.
That's in your mind, brother.
Hold on, Ashley. Solidus, I have a question for you, man. Why do you think that people want to see Canelo versus Crawford? Why do you think some fans are demanding Canelo versus Crawford? What do you think that they think about that fight?
A lot. Now, this is going to be controversial. People will get mad at me for saying this. The only people that want to see Canelo fight Crawford is a bunch of nigga-hating Mexicans. Why the fuck do you want to see a 47-pounder fight?
Ashley, get on him. He dropped the N-word.
I told you he's not black to use. I told you your boy wasn't black to use that.
So how do you know Saunders isn't black? How do you know Saunders is white?
It's obvious. If you can't tell them, that just go to show how dumb you is.
Well, hold on. Me and Solidus gonna finish this point off. Me and Solidus gonna finish this point off. Yeah.
Let me get back to IBF. Nah, that's the only people that want to see that fight because he fights at 68. He's a 147 and he fought one time at 54. Not even in the same weight. It would be much better for boxing in general if Canelo said, I'm going to fight somebody in my weight. And that could be anybody, whoever.
No, but I just think that's not the reason why they want to see it.
Hold on. What is the stylistic matchup that people want to see between Canelo and Crawford? Why do they think? Maybe I asked the wrong question. Why does Bomac believe Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo? Why do Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis? Why do they believe stylistically Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo?
Because they think he's a defensive genius.
They think that
the real everybody is Bill Haney. That's the real answer.
No,
Bill Haney.
From what I understand, everybody thinks Crawford is a better boxer, so they think he can outbox Canelo.
Correct. And so, hold on.
They thought the same thing about Billy Joe Saunders.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
That's the exact same point. They believe that Billy Joe
Wait a minute.
Hold up. If you ain't been keeping up with fucking previous events, according to a lot of people in the boxing community, Canelo was ducking Column. Canelo was ducking Saunders. Canelo was ducking fucking Plant. That shit kept going until he
hold up.
Hold on, Solidus. Hold on, my brother. Hold on. I got to address this. So there's a couple things that you said that were just basically untrue. So that's a quick body on you because the whole reason they want to see Canelo Crawford is because they believe Crawford can outbox Canelo. That's why they believe a guy who just left welterweight basically can beat Canelo and move up all that and weight don't matter because they believe Canelo has the same vulnerabilities that he had against Billy Joe Saunders, and they thought Billy Joe Saunders were going to do it. And so, I also asked you another question. I say, who wanted to see the fight or whatever? And you said a bunch of Mexicans. The problem that we have here, it wasn't Mexicans calling for the fight. It was Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford called for the fight. Let me finish. Terrence Crawford called for the fight over and over and over and over again. And then when and Canelo dismissed the fight, said he was not interested in the fight. And then he kept begging and begging and begging for the fight. And then they made him a ridiculous offer. He ended up taking the fight, and that's how we have it. But the fan base that got behind it is primarily Terrence Crawford fans, not the Mexican community. That's not who got behind that fight. The Mexican community is behind it now because of Canelo, but the Mexican community wanted the David Benavidez fight. That's the fight that I seen the Mexican community was pushing for, was Canelo Benavidez or Canelo, any of those guys. They were not asking for Terrence Crawford. The Mexican community wanted Terrence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz, wanted Terrence Crawford and those other guys down into other weights. It was no push for Canelo Crawford. Now there's a buzz about Canelo Crawford simply because the fight's made, it's going to happen, and you have all of these people believing that Canelo's going to get knocked out. So yes, of course, the Mexican community now is invested. But the whole reason, and this is the same community that you even go back to the LDBC when they were saying 2 years ago that Jaron Boots Ennis, Blue Blood Sports TV said Jaron Ennis would school Canelo. He would be able to move up in weight and school Canelo. Not the Ennis today. The Ennis 2 years ago could do this. You got to understand who's pushing this fight. And the reason why they're pushing the fight is because Canelo apparently has these same weaknesses, the same reason why they thought Billy Joe Saunders was going to win. So we got to be honest about that. We're being disingenuous when you say, who thought Billy Joe Saunders was going to win? We all knew that it was going to, we all knew that there was a chance based on styles. We all knew that. And there was a lot of people picking Billy Joe Saunders. But it's good. It's the same people that were saying Jamel was going to go up there and outbox Canelo. Okay.
Yep.
You had tons of fans saying that, and they all went into hiding the moment he got beat. All went into hiding the moment he got beat. You had the same fan base saying Caleb Plant is white chocolate. He's gonna melt all over Canelo. Pause. And that shit didn't happen. And then they have to walk that shit back. And so how many times do we keep saying the same narrative? Canelo's gonna get outboxed because he fights a certain way. So it's disingenuous when you say, well, no, that's not the case with Billy Joe Saunders. No, that is the case. Because there was a lot of people, especially in the UK, that believed that Billy Joe Saunders was going to cook Canelo.
Check this out.
Hold on. We're going to come back to you in a minute. We're going to go around the panel first. But before we do, I got a few comments I got to read first. My brother Fernando says, Ashley, the same dude who said David Benavidez would knock out Canelo. We already know that that's not. David don't have that kind of power. Even Ashley would admit that David don't have that kind of power. David couldn't knock out Caleb Plant.
Not at all.
I think we all agree on the panel that David don't got that kind of power. He's a good fighter, but he's not a big puncher.
I say Benavidez would beat Canelo on points, not by knockout. I mean, has Canelo ever been dropped?
No.
There you go.
Has David Benavidez ever been dropped? Fight Sports? Fight Sports, who dropped David again?
This is all I know. This is all I know.
And I know I'm gonna get clowned for what I'm about to say.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking a question. Who dropped David again, guys? Somebody answer.
Ronald Gavril.
Journeyman, right?
Who won the fight, though?
Ashley, was that a journeyman that dropped him?
Who won the fight?
Oh, here you go.
There you go. You want to dance around the motherfucking question regardless.
Who won the fight?
He got dropped.
Ronald Gravel.
He got dropped.
Ronald Gravel.
Hold on, I never said. I never denied that Benavidez has been dropped. So I never denied Benavidez has been dropped. I just said I felt.
Listen, that's the only thing they could say about Benavidez. Oh,
technically, Morrell dropped him too.
Oh my God!
Hold on. Let me finish this comment. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you guys. 1 second. Let me just finish these comments. And that's not all they can say about David. They can say he's never unified. They can say a lot of things about David. So when we talk about David, we can say all those things. But we're gonna come right back to you, Ashley. Hold on. Supreme says, Ashley, I'm emotional. Ashley, I'm emotional. and if you haven't listened to the song, it's on the channel by Supreme featuring Clavo. I'm emotional. Ashley. Go check it out. My brother Goofy Combat says, is Ashley kneecaps forgetting that Lennox Lewis was considered an email paper champion before he defeated the WBC before he defended, the WBC belt against Tony Tucker? He is a clown. Man, they really got some
Damn.
smoke for you today, Ashley. The
They
Gooch
just
says
talking. The bottom line is they all email champions, regardless of what he say.
The
It don't matter
Gooch.
what he say.
okay.
The
The
bottom
Gooch
line is
says
Bivol was
Benavidez
given
is
the
the
belt.
biggest bitch in
That's the
boxing.
bottom line. You can't take that
Benavidez
away.
is the biggest bitch in boxing. He now wants an email WBA title. Admit
He-
you're wrong.
He's
He
the
is
biggest
not
bitch,
that
but
guy.
don't
0 for
nobody want to fight
7.
this man. No, they not fighting on the
0
dotted
for
line.
This is
7.
where I
Won't
got
Okay,
nobody
Oh,
okay,
for
fight him.
seven.
wait. I
You keep
gotta
talking about the people that
I
Don't
gotta
nobody want
respond
to
to
fight the
that.
man. He a bitch, but don't nobody want to fight.
Hold on. Can I respond to that since
Yeah.
this
Just
guy,
don't get mad,
this
fight.
guy's-
Just don't get mad, fight.
Here we go again.
why should I can't get mad at somebody who's in love with me. So
All right,
I'm
there
just
you
gonna
go.
say this. I think Benavidez would beat Canelo, but I've said repeatedly 1,000 times, I'll say it 1,000 more times if I have to, it's never going to happen. So I'm over it, okay? My opinion is that Benavidez would win the fight. My opinion is that Benavidez would beat Bivol, but maybe I'm wrong. That's all. I've never said Canelo's garbage. I've never said I just defended his run at 168, and I called out the charlatans who say it was weak. So, yeah, the Gooch you can continue to donate. I just hope you donate to my channel as much as you do to these others because you're in love with me.
Okay. All right, let me get this. Domo says Fight Sports. How can David beat Canelo with them newborn ass feet?
Oh my God!
That's a good one, Domo.
All right,
That's a
I got
good
one
one.
sentence.
Good
I got
point
one
right
sentence.
there.
One quick sentence. No, it's not my show, and I'm not. There's no point talking on a panel when there's so many other people here about a fight that's never going to happen.
That fight can happen next year. It's possible.
It ain't happening.
You just
man.
gotta have
Man,
faith.
talking
You just gotta
shit.
have
I'll break
faith.
it. I'll break
Stop
the fight
lying.
down
I
when
done
it's.
told you stop getting on here
No,
lying to your
Actually,
panel,
will you
man.
shut up? Actually,
You know
will
he
you shut
ain't.
the
You
fuck
know he's
up?
not gonna fight
Jesus
nobody.
Christ.
You know he's not gonna fight
Y'all
nobody.
dudes love each other.
We'll get back to it.
Again.
Well, hold on. Let me get to
Yeah,
a few more.
you
We're
mean
right
David
there,
ain't
man.
gonna fight nobody? That's what
You know he
mean.
ain't gonna fight nobody, man.
Yeah,
He's
David ain't gonna fight nobody. You right? You damn right.
scared, man. He don't want no smoke, man. He want 200 million to fight this man.
Hold on. My brother Mike Trades, he says pro black fans, I'm assuming he means pro black fans are literally demanding Canelo fight Bud. They say that he avoids black fighters is what the dude is talking about, man. Crybaby victim. So there is some truth. There is some truth to this statement. And the truth is that it has been said, even Bud said out of his own mouth, Canelo avoids black fighters, when the fact is Canelo has fought more black fighters than Bud Crawford. No one even makes this and when you see the majority of Tank
They
Davis
didn't say.
I agree with
when you
that.
see the majority of Tank Davis fights, Tank has mostly fought Latino fighters throughout his career, but nobody said he's ducking black fighters. It's a narrative that's always put on Canelo, and this is 100% accurate. There are pro-black channels, there are pro-black narratives that are being pushed, and that's what it was. I mean, I've seen a whole community celebrate when Canelo lost to Bivol, and that same community called it a cherry pick gone wrong, which didn't make any sense. But then when Bivol fought Better BF, it wasn't a cherry pick. It was a great fight. So you can't keep switching up. It was never a cherry pick. These people are just uneducated as to what.
Nobody never said. I don't remember hearing somebody say he doesn't fight black fighters. He fights black fighters.
What?
You never
They said he has
you never heard Bud say that? Hold on, Solidus. Hold on,
You've been living under a rock.
Wait a minute. Solidus, you never heard
Bro, where
Bud
you been
Crawford.
at?
Hold on, you never heard Bud Crawford say Canelo don't fight black fighters.
No. No, I'm not talking about Crawford. In general.
I didn't say you were talking about Crawford. I'm saying you said you never heard nobody say that. But did you hear Crawford say it?
That he avoids black fighters?
That Canelo avoids black fighters, yes.
I heard him say he has trouble with black fighters.
No, he said he avoids black fighters, and then Clarissa Shields backdoored it and said the exact same thing.
Yep.
It's been around, bro. That shit's been going around.
It's been around.
That's how these narratives start. All of these people go around spreading this like wildfire. And at the end of the day, we understand what it is, but it's a lie. We understand almost everything that goes against Canelo is a lie or some kind of hate for no reason.
Who celebrated Canelo losing to Bivol? Who celebrated that?
Entire community.
A lot of idiots did, Sam.
A lot of people.
Bro, where have you been?
I think you've been living under a rock.
I don't watch that show.
You might not be familiar with boxing channels and content, but
when'd you start watching boxing?
World that celebrated Canelo losing to Bivol and said it was a cherry pick. They said, "Oh, he pump faked like he was going for greatness." I literally had somebody come in my DM, hit me up, and say, "No, he dug David to fight Bivol." I'm like, "How does that make sense?"
Right.
Why does that make sense?
That was a bullshit narrative. Everyone knows my thoughts.
And another thing.
I think they were celebrating.
Let me say something.
I think they were celebrating because he lost to the ball.
All right.
These people didn't even know who Bivol was before the fight.
And
They
another
didn't know
thing.
who he was.
I did.
No,
I
I'm
did.
not saying you.
I
I'm saying
remember.
the majority. We're going to say the majority of boxing fans had no idea who Dimitri Bivol was because these people are uneducated with the sport of boxing. They only know the big names. They don't
That's
study
it.
the sport. They don't love the sport. They
That's
love
it.
certain fighters,
Yeah.
and they like to
And
push
that's
narratives.
why he
That's the
can't
way
sell
boxing
without
is. It's
turkey.
fucked up
Bottom
like
fucking
that.
line.
There's a guy.
That's
Hold
why
on,
he
hold on.
can't
And
sell
I
without
One
remember.
second, Ashley.
And
I just want to make this point. There's this guy that comes on my channel. He comes on my live stream a lot. His name is Flashy Buckles. And Flashy Buckles only comes on here and talks about one fighter, and then he rage quits when we talk about other fighters.
Yes.
So Flashy Buckles really gets pissed
Damn.
off when we talk about other fighters. He said, I just want to talk about the guy I want to talk about. I say, no, but listen, Flashy Buckles, we got to talk about all of boxing. No, I only want to talk about this one guy and no one else. That's what Flashy Buckles does.
I mean, you were quiet when they were talking about Boots and Norman. Yeah, you was.
Yep.
Because he doesn't know. Because
And I
Ashley
remember.
only knows,
I just want to.
Benavidez. But
David Benavidez is.
Speaking of booze, can we get to that topic? We haven't addressed that yet.
And
yes, we are. We are
I
getting
want to
to
say
the
this real
topic
quick.
right now.
I remember.
I thought
What were you gonna say?
Let me say this real quick. I remember a time. I remember the time when they were saying that Canelo doesn't fight black fighters, and when they were saying that he fought Charlo, and then I remember they were saying that Canelo doesn't fight Mexican fighters, and then he fought Munguia. So this is just nitpicking, hating,
Nah,
and another thing.
Canelo said he don't fight Mexican fighters.
You fought Chavez first. Stop.
And that,
No,
and that was a
listen,
whole narrative.
right.
And that's a whole
And
narrative too.
doesn't
Some
like
people like to come on the channel and plot. Some people like to come on the channel and play stupid. Like I never heard people say Canelo was ducking Mexican fighters. I never heard Canelo was ducking black fighters. I never heard people say Canelo was ducking anybody. I never heard that anybody.
No,
said
I never.
Joe had a chance to win. Guys will come
You
on
was
here.
referring that to me.
Hold on 1 second. Let me finish my point. Guys will literally come on here and act like they don't know what nobody has ever said. If you on my channel and you watch these videos, there's thousands of views on these videos, 20,000 views on half these videos where people are just talking about Canelo's gonna lose this, he's gonna get cooked, and then after the fight, they never show up. That's all I'm saying. So it's just a lot of switch up. That's all I'm saying. And so for somebody to come on here and act like that, hold on 1 second. For somebody to come on here and act like that, they never seen this anywhere. If you're on boxing Twitter, if you're on boxing YouTube, if you're on boxing Facebook or TikTok, those narratives are fucking everywhere. You cannot escape them.
Yep.
They're everywhere. And if you're not, and if you say you're not seeing them, that's a lie. I'm sorry, you're a fucking liar. You're seeing them because we all see them. We all know what it is. We all know what it is. We're about to get the
they're not seeing them because they're focused on one fighter.
Baby oil down.
That makes a lot of sense. Look at actually talk to baby.
Jackson, why you talking to us, man? Stop playing, man.
And hold on. Let me get through two more, and then we're gonna start on this Boots thing too, man.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Mike Trades says Ashy Knuckles and
Keep it to yourself, brother.
1 second. Mike Trades says Ashy Knuckles and Solidus T are LDBC racist baiters. Bro, they only like Benavidez to tear down Canelo. When David loses, they're not going to support him anymore. Now, I don't know if that's
we wasn't even on here talking about Benavidez fighting Canelo until somebody else brought it up.
I'm going to let you guys speak to this. The only thing I can say is I've seen the vast majority of David Benavidez fans are guys who just are opposed to Canelo. That's how Dimitri Bivol got his fan base. These guys were just opposed to Canelo, rode with him, and when he won, they said, oh, Bivol's the greatest fighter. They literally got on their knees for this man, and they had no idea who the fuck he was.
This is just
they
what
were
it is,
anti-Canelo. So that's kind of the same thing that happened with David. Anybody I've seen somebody talking about Canelo better watch out for Munguia. I'm telling you, every time Canelo fights somebody, they get a whole new fan base of people supporting them until they get their ass whooped. That's all I'm saying.
Bottom line is this, man. Everybody's hating on everybody else's favorite fighter. Everybody on here talking about,
you guys want to address this because I didn't make that accusation.
Everybody just like me,
Mike Trey,
come on here
you
and
first,
defend
then Solidus.
Benavidez.
You guys
Y'all come on this channel exclusively just to defend y'all favorite fighter, whether it's Canelo, Boots, or whoever the fuck it may be. So let's just stop.
No, ma'am.
Yes. What's up?
You know that there's people saying there's people saying that William Skull has a chance to upset Canelo because Canelo had
Man,
trouble
that
with
people
Lara and a
can
Cuban
come on,
fighter.
stop it.
Can he knock him
Stop
out,
it.
please? Can we get a knockout? Since everybody always talk about Benavidez knocking nobody out, can we get a knockout from Canelo? Not a knockdown, but a knockout. Can we get a knockout?
You talking about somebody who's at
Your
a
boy
fifth weight class
Benavidez
Can we
versus
get a
somebody at a
knockout?
second weight class?
Can we get a knockout, man? That's all
Your
I'm
boy
asking. Can
Benavidez
we
couldn't
get a
get a
knockout?
10-8 round.
Your
Can we
boy's
get
been
a
at your boy's at his second weight class. Your boy's at his
Your boy
fucking
couldn't get a
second
10-8
weight class.
round.
Canelo's at his fucking
knockout?
fifth. You
Can we get a
idiot.
knockout, man? It's a
He said,
simple
when
yes or
can
no
Benavidez
question,
get a
man.
10-8 round?
It's a
Ain't that a
simple
bitch?
yes or no question, man. Can we get a knockout? That's all I'm
Yeah, but
asking.
Man,
actually,
go knock
Knuckles.
your wife out if you
Go
got one,
as
bitch.
Benavidez get a 10-8 round.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
bare
want
Hey,
to
minimum.
Claudia.
Get a 10-8 round.
Yes.
Claudia,
Actually,
do that
Yes.
shit
Knuckles,
That's
too,
that
man.
my brother
Claudia.
GMO cooking today.
Claudia,
Can Davey
go
get a
knock your
10-8
wife out
round,
if you
Ashy?
got one.
Hey, to
Yo,
go
Ashy,
actually,
can
Knuckles,
to
you
Davey
know
get a
what your
10-8
man
round?
suffer from, though, man? You know what your
Hey,
man
hey, to
suffer
Claudia,
from,
address
actually,
this.
Knuckles?
Bitch, shut the
Claudia,
fuck
put
He
your
up.
dress
suffers from
down.
C-cam,
Put your dress down, King.
confusion,
Yo,
conflicting
emotional.
Use
ass
your butt.
My
management.
Use
name's
your butt plug
Ashley.
later
No,
on. All right.
listen, that's Benavidez's
Hey,
problem
to
is C-cam, conflicting, confusing ass management. He'll have an interview where he says, "Hey, listen, if they fight each other and they win it, I don't see no problem with doing the third fight because you got to even the score, no problem. Then you go and get
Boom.
this belt, then you go and try to push for the WBA. So, like business wise, you conflicting. You got a management team that does goofy shit where
Yeah,
when you're in
and that's
position
hurting
for
y'all
getting a
feelings. And that's
title,
hurting y'all
where
feelings as
Shut
fans.
the fuck up,
it's
Ashley.
not.
Sit your
It's
ass
not.
down
It's not.
somewhere.
It's
You
not.
gotta
It's not
accept it.
about feelings.
Either fight
It's
the
not
man,
about feelings though.
either
But if you're
fight the
trying to
man,
line
or
yourself
sit your
up
fucking
business
ass
wise
down and
for the
give up the
biggest
belt.
and
Bottom
best
fucking
fights,
line. Just
but if
do
you're
like
trying to
like
line
Bibble
yourself
did.
up for
Bibble
the
gave up
best
his
business,
fucking
why
Yo,
belt
would you
Brim,
go
to get a
against the
fucking
grain
chump.
with
And
that
that's just
business
what it is.
opportunity in front of you and have conflicting dispositions? That's the shit
Brim,
that I feel
Brim.
like they teach
Either
him every
fight the
time when he's near the
man,
top.
either fight the man or
Yo,
give up the
Brim,
belt. Bottom line.
I
I'm not
tried to
sitting here
explain the
trying to debate
monetary
none
and
of
the
that,
financial side of this to
all this
Ashley like a
negotiating
couple
shit
weeks
that's gonna
ago,
make y'all
and it
feel
just
good as
flew over
fans.
his head.
Nah.
He doesn't understand
I'm not even talking about necessarily just
financial
the
and shit.
money. I'm just talking
No,
about
because
the fact that
you just
the
said him and his team
Benavidez will
move
say
goofy. You
something,
just said
right?
him and his
And
team
then
move
2 weeks
goofy,
later,
and
this
you
team
don't
will
like
do
that
something that's
because
the
that hurts your
complete
feelings.
No,
opposite of what he
exactly,
said.
Brim. Right. And he's
Listen,
fucking
man,
up his
it's
own
either
pockets, and he
fight the
doesn't
man.
understand that.
Well, let him
Hey, yo,
fuck it up.
IBS.
Right?
Could I
Well,
address the
let him
super
fuck it
chat?
up. It's either fight
Yeah,
him,
let me go to
or give up
Solidus
your
real
belt.
quick so Solidus can
Bottom
address
line.
this super chat real quick. Because Solidus got a right to respond, man. If he doesn't believe that that's how he should be labeled, Solidus, the floor is yours.
No, I've said a million times that Canelo's an all-time great. I was just pointing out facts. The only fight left for him is the Benavidez fight.
That's all that's left. You can't run no more, man.
And me
Not
sitting
necessarily.
there, hold up. Me sitting there watching Benavidez fight and then acknowledge he's a good fighter, that doesn't make me a fanboy. I'm just saying, oh, he's a good fighter. So I don't understand that. Canelo's a great fighter. Benavidez is a great fighter. I'll be honest. I might have said some things that might come off left as far as race, but am I really racist, race baiter? No. But I might have said some shit though, so I kind of get it. But I'm not really like that. But that's all it is. Canelo's a great fighter. His run at 168 wasn't weak. It's just that from a boxing standpoint, there's really nobody left for this dude to fight but Benavidez. All these other fights are kind of
That's why I
That's
come
all.
on this show to talk shit because the walls is closing in on him, man. You
No,
can't
they
make
not.
any more
No, it
fights.
ain't. No,
There's
it's
not too many
not.
more fights. There's no
How?
Conor Benn.
No, it's
None
not.
of that Conor Benn shit going to save you.
No.
None of that extra. It's either fight Benavidez. That goes for
Park
him and
Street.
Bibble.
Get it, Park
That
Nah,
Street.
the
goes
only
for
thing that's
Bibble
closing
too.
down is your pussy
That
walls
goes
closing
for
down
Bibble
David
too.
Benavidez' dick.
Oh
That's
my
the only
There's
thing
not
God.
too
closing.
many more people
All
you
right,
can
Park
fight.
Street. Let Park
God
Street get the
damn,
floor,
So you're
everybody.
gonna
Park
have to
Street hasn't
fight.
got a chance to get the floor. Park Street, the floor is yours, my brother.
So I got a question from Solidus because I agree with you. So with
Yeah,
the point you just made, can we
yeah,
all agree that that's a fight that we all want to see? Can we
yeah. I
agree on
believe
that?
so. I
Yes.
think.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
believe
with
so.
the
Yeah.
same point being made, should Canelo be paid what he's being asked to be paid?
I don't have
Yes.
a problem with how much. I don't have a problem with how much money these guys make. That's fine. I never had an issue with that.
Okay,
If I was in charge, I would give them $200 million.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
$200
saying.
million. I can afford it. Yeah, I can have it.
Canelo
You
is
can
the
have that.
ultimate game planner.
The
Canelo waited
That's fine.
until David
That's not a
became
problem.
a legacy
Yeah,
fight.
that's fine if you
David,
got a
before
rich
he
person
became
like
the
Turkey
W.
coming
Hold
out
on,
his
Ashley,
pocket
hold
paying
on.
200 million, but
Ashley,
if you got to
hold
rely on
on.
200 million from
Ashley, hold on. God damn, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
20 years old, but you acting like a fucking female. Shut the fuck up. So, like
Bro,
I
he
was
said
saying,
he's retired and he acts like this, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Listen, so the point of what I'm saying is Canelo waited until David became a legacy fight. now David being the WBC champion and pushing for the WBA, now he's a legacy fight. So now I don't see no reason why Canelo's not going to fight him going into the within the next year or so.
I agree.
Now he's a legacy fight.
I agree. And now it makes perfect sense for Canelo to have, because now Canelo's incentivized Ashley Knuckles to want to fight David. Now he gained something. Now there's a belt on the line at 175. David wasn't a champion when Canelo was a champion. You got to understand that.
Benavidez should be on this 5-fight card, on this 5-fight deal, right?
4 fights.
Why? 4 fight, 5 fight, whatever you want to call it. He should be on. He should be on there then, right?
Yes.
Well, he can be added because the last 2 fights are not penciled in.
I mean, how's he gonna be added when he ain't trying to fuck with Saudi money?
That's another
Saudi,
issue.
Man,
that
money
I'm a Vegas fighter.
David's been on record.
That kind of money right there would not be turned down. You could bet your bottom dollar on that.
He already fucking did, you idiot.
Man, you
David's been on record of saying
you're a fucking dumbass.
Hold on 1 second, Ashley. 1 second. 1 second. David has been on the record of saying that he will not stand in the way of a trilogy fight just to turn around and stand in the way of a trilogy fight.
Dumbass.
Claudia.
And I got a quick.
Claudia, you is so stupid.
Hi, all.
There is no way a Bivol fight.
There is no. Hey, talk to me right, bro. Don't stutter, bro. Take David's dick out your mouth.
Claudia.
Talk to me right.
Claudia, calm your nerves.
Calm down, Ashley, asshole.
Put your dress down and stand in the fucking
bro.
corner.
I know you praying for you to fall down accidentally. Your ass falls on David's dick, bro. But that's not gonna make him fucking any better than what he is.
Go ahead, Claudia.
I got a big problem.
Claudia, go ahead.
Okay, hold on. We hold on. I want to get to my brother Steel Mills. I want to get to my brother Hit Kid, and I want to get GMO if he got a comment, because I don't think he got his full comment off yet. And so let me just read 2 more comments, and then we're there, man. My brother Goofy Combat. My brother Goofy Combat says Ashley Kneecaps rides the short school bus. Benavidez is an email champion because he hasn't even defended the belt once, nor fought a champion for it. Bivol isn't because he was given the belt, but has successfully defended it. It's a completely different situation.
Still an email champion. Regardless. I don't care if he defended it.
I think that was a body, though.
That was a fucking body bag.
That's why that's a body. Goofy comment. I think you got a body.
Get your ass in there, Ashley.
Young sir, how do you want it? How do you want your bag? Zip or unzip? How do you like your bag?
I think you caught a body on this one, Ashley. I think you caught a body.
How do you like your bags, young man? Zip or
and
unzip?
Santiago says, give David Benavidez credit for the things he's done, not what you believe in. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's either you do or you don't, and David failed.
Ooh, I like that one.
That one.
Everybody want to talk about David being ducked. Caleb Truax, James DeGale, Caleb Plain, George Groves, Rocky Fielding, Callum Smith, Zerda Ramirez, Billy Joe Saunders. All of these dudes could have been fought before Canelo moved to 168. So if anybody talking about anybody ducking David, David is the one ducking everybody else.
David done ducked everybody, man. He don't want to fight nobody, man.
Yes,
he can't beat nobody, man. He can't beat nobody, man.
There you go. Now you're making sense, Ashley.
I do know before 2026 is over, I'm going to have the pleasure to come in here and tell a whole lot of you to shut the fuck up because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And like I said, y'all don't believe it's not going to happen, but I promise you. And Nuke, you already know you dragging that day. You already said you're going to ask your sister to call in and do the show for you. You already told me that. So you already know it's coming. Just hold your horses. Y'all got fun right now to talk shit. But in 2026, I'm gonna come on here and tell all y'all to shut the fuck up because you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
You ain't coming, man. You ain't coming. The only thing that's coming is David in your ass.
You're gonna have to
even mean.
So, hold on, man. The only thing I'm really concerned. Hold on. The only thing I'm really concerned about with this. The only thing I'm concerned about with this kind of talk is when the Bivol Benavidez fight is finally made and he gets cooked.
No, man, he's not going to get. He's going to beat. He's going to beat him up. He's going to beat him up, and then y'all going to be like, I already told you what y'all excuse going to be.
I mean, Nuke, do you remember
beat up when Benavidez beat Bivol up? Y'all going to be like, he only beat him because he went through a war with him. If he went through that war with Benavidez, he would have
beat up Morrell and Boston.
I don't want to hear that bullshit when he beat his fucking ass. I don't want to hear nothing about. Oh, he was tired from fighting Better Beef a couple of months back.
What did you say, Clavo?
Man, Nuke, do you not remember this idiot fucking coming in here wanting to fucking bash Canelo for the Jake Paul fight? But when there was evidence of David might doing it, what did he do?
All thing I know is, all thing I
All
know
I know
is,
is,
this is
all I
all I
know is,
know.
bro, you suck a lot of dick, bro. That's all I know.
Canelo better beat, he better beat Crawford. Because if he don't beat Crawford, y'all gonna
Bro, hey, sucking dick gives you brain damage, bro. Let that.
If he beat him,
All right, man, we ain't
ooh, I'm
got
gonna be waiting for the next
we ain't
episode of
got
this show because I'm gonna be waiting to come in here to talk so much shit to y'all motherfuckers. Boy,
Okay,
y'all gonna
okay.
hate.
Let me go to
Use
GMO.
emotional.
I know.
Let me
I
go to
know. I'm
GMO.
gonna
Let
be
me go
very
to
emotional.
Steel Mills, and let me go to Hit Kid, so everybody can get their
You
points off. And
emotional.
we got to talk
You
Boots
got it,
Ennis too, man. Because
Claudia.
hold on. We got to talk Boots Ennis too, because we haven't got into Boots Ennis. Ashley Knuckles, don't rage quit when we talk Boots Ennis, man. It's
My
bigger
sweet
than just David.
señorita.
We got to talk everything. GMO, what did you want to add anything to this
Well,
point
yeah,
before we
I
change
actually want to
topics?
switch topics to Boots because I'm
Okay.
exhausted
Yeah,
with
we can switch
Benavidez
topics
talk.
to Boots. Switch topics to Boots.
Honestly, everybody said
Yeah,
some
Y'all
good
gonna
I
trash
points
this
said what I
about
topic.
had to say to my sweet
Benavidez in
señorita
terms of
Claudia. My sweet
everybody has some good
señorita.
points in terms of
Claudia.
Benavidez. He had the opportunity to unify at 168 before Canelo was there. That was already addressed. He had plenty of opportunities to do so. He did not. Everybody saw that he lost the belt twice on drugs and on weight, right? That was already addressed. So I'm actually exhausted with the Benavidez talk. I'm ready to switch topics to Boots.
Oh, you gonna hurt
We
Ashley's
already
feelings.
said that already. You
You
went
hurting
that. You
Ashley's
drug it out.
feelings,
You
bro.
drug it out with that right there.
What do you say? What you
Keep
say?
going, GMO. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going, bro.
No, I didn't hear what he said. What you say?
I
Ashley?
said we been said there. Let's switch it to Boots. You the one who drug it out with the Benavidez speech all over again.
You drag it on every fucking live, dumbass.
If
You
you
shut the
if
fuck
you
up.
have
just like
if
you
you have
dragged the Brooks
active
across your
listening,
tongue. We all
Ashy.
know. Come on,
Hey, yo,
If
man.
you have
Calm down.
active
IBF, what's
listening,
up?
Calm down,
yo,
Claudia.
Ashy. If you have active listening, I was asked the question, do I have anything to
Calm
add?
down,
I
Claudia.
responded to that question, right? I responded and I said, let's
Okay,
switch
okay,
topics.
move on to Boots.
That's called active listening.
We don't need to keep
Right?
going around in
What you lack
circles. We
of.
could go
Hey,
on
yo,
to Boots.
IBF, what's
I
good with
digress.
Boots?
I digress. Let's continue.
Okay. Let's start the circle on Boots real quick. Let me start with my brother Steel Mills, man. Still, you want to give me your thoughts on Boots? What do you think about everything? And you know, is he overrated, underrated, or right where he should be?
I definitely think he's overrated. First off, what's happening with everybody? You know what I'm saying? What's happening with
Salute.
everybody?
That sounds crazy.
Dan, I got
Where he
news.
belongs.
But let me
Yo,
wait
dude,
because I do want to revisit that topic earlier with just my Latino homies in here, respectfully, of course.
Yeah. You
Not
can.
now though.
Yeah.
Not now though. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But I do want to address that. But as far as Boots is concerned, man, I think he's overrated. Like he's good. He's nice. But I do think he's overrated in the sense that people still, I'm still arguing with people that he'll go and he'll knock out Virgil Ortiz and he'll dominate a whole bunch of everybody up at 154 pounds and he better than Bud and all that. That's why I'm saying he's overrated. But I personally like the performance from last week. I'm definitely still seeing glaring flaws in his game. He's getting hit entirely too much for someone who's supposed to be the next coming to Roy Jones Jr. And if you fighting somebody, who's able to place them shots a little bit better and they're a lot quicker on the counter, and they ain't just looking to get, studying your patterns, and it's taking you round after round after round after round for them to study your pattern for you to start actually letting shots go, you're gonna be in trouble. You dig what I'm saying? In particular, in front of someone like a Virgil Ortiz, man. But other than that, I think Boots is nice, man. Like I do think he's overrated though. I honestly do. He needs to work on that defense and all this showboating and all that shit. Come on, man. Let's chill, my guy. But other than that, I was impressed with his performance. I thought Stanionis was going to do a whole hell of a lot better, but he didn't. It was good. Go ahead, my fault.
And I did, and I don't want to bring this back up. I just want to kind of get it out the way. Did you have hold on.
You got Nick?
No, I was just waiting to see if you were ready for it. Then only thing I was going to say as far as Dave, as far as David goes, and I know we already touched on. I just wanted to touch on it. Did you think that David was trying to pursue to get Bivol to drop another belt? Do you have any thought about that or?
Yeah, man, you're a sucker. You're a sucker, bro. Like that's just the long and short of it, bro. Like bro, what type of man are you going to try and get a dude stripped of 2 belts, bro? Like, you don't get no credit off for doing that shit because you're not taking the belt from him how it's rightfully supposed to be taken. You satisfied with just getting the brother stripped, man. That shit is corny to me, man. And I'm just really getting tired of this dude and his Pops and Samson and all these motherfuckers. bro. Like you've had one fight. No, you've had two fights, and all of a sudden you think you're entitled to an undisputed title match. Now, granted, this is what everybody. This is the fight that everybody wants to see, but pump your brakes, because if we being real, you not next in rotation as everybody have already addressed. Chill the fuck out. You was coming into this fight knowing that it was more than likely going to be a trilogy, and you was okay with the fact that you was going to fight, that you would fight Callum Smith on the undercard, because according to you, who the fuck are you to hold up the trilogy?
Boom.
So now all of a sudden, nah, man, I want my belt, purse bids and all. We offering you $8 million and all, just all type of sucker shit, man. Like, dude is a cornball, man. Like, and he has a style that'll make you like he has an entertaining style to watch, man. But all the antics and the media manipulation and antics and all that shit, it's a circus act over there with that camp. Just do what the fuck you supposed to do as a fighter and fight the motherfuckers that we asking you to fight. If you can't get Bivol, chip at the heel. Go get the next best available opponent, which is Callum Smith. You dig? And stop. Like I seen Domo say it earlier in the comments, man. You talking about going over there to the UK to fight Anthony Yard, but you ain't trying to fight fucking Callum Smith in Saudi. Like, what type of time is you on, bro? Do what the fuck you supposed to do, man. Just do what the fuck you supposed to do as a fighter and stop the sucker shit. You and your Pop Sampson, all you motherfuckers. God damn.
You gonna hurt Ashley's feelings, bro.
Woo, man, Ashley Knuckles about to have a meltdown over there. Hit Kid, what do you think about this?
It's nothing to have a meltdown over when the only thing Bivol got to do is fight him. That's who's really the sucker in the whole situation. Stop being a bitch, chasing a 40-year-old fucking man, and get in the ring and fight a fucking 28-year-old boy whose record is better than yours, whose knockouts is better than yours, and prove him wrong. Beat him the fuck up and stop running.
40-year-old is
Stop running for your third rubber match. You always could bounce back to your rubber match. Prove everybody wrong and give everybody the fight we want. Other than that, give up your fucking belt. You don't want to fight. If you want to keep chasing a 40-year-old man, give up your belt. Bottom line. That's just bottom line. If y'all can't accept
go ahead, Hit Kid.
It's just too fucking bad. Sorry.
All right, Hit, what's your thoughts on Boots Ennis' performance? What do you have Boots Ennis' performance? Is he underrated, overrated, or where he's supposed to be?
So, I believe he's right where he's supposed to be at.
He's not asking you.
Can we have this
guy? But before he asks me, I'll put it out there. Before he can ask me, I'll put it out there.
How old are you at this point? Now my question is, how old are you?
I'll put it out there before he even asks me. I believe he's right. I believe he's right where he's
supposed to be. Well, let him
kid
speak.
Let me speak. All right, here's the deal. Very impressed by Boots Ennis. He clears out 147 with ease. I'm sorry, Mario Barrios ain't touching him. Brian Norman Jr. has already ducked him. That's the truth. Boots dominated Stanionis from minute in, minute out. Do I think he takes a lot of hits? Yes. Would I pick him over Virgil Ortiz? No. But do I think Boots is a really good fighter? Yes. So I'd say he's rated just about right for me. I wouldn't call him overrated or underrated. I'd say just about right for me. I think it's harsh to call him overrated because he is a unified champ, and I think he will go undisputed in that. No, do I think the division's weak right now? Yes, can't lie on that. I do think the division is weak right now, but I think it's around there. Okay, if he beat Virgil, then I think he will go up huge. If you get where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, that's
no. I'm gonna get into this Benavidez shit.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I blamed the WBC for jumping the queue and, fucking over both fighters. Fucking over Benavidez and Bivol, when they stripped Bivol the WBC belt. Because I thought, getting an email belt for David absolutely does nothing for him. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I think they should have waited and, for the trilogy to happen and then call Benavidez as mandatory. Because I think it hurts David's reputation. And I already said WBC jumped the line because if you remember, it was IBF WBO, then WBC, then WBA. No, I'm a completely different view on this with the WBA belt. This is a fuck Team Benavidez moment. And if it's coming from David himself, it is an absolutely chicken shit move because WBA is last in the line of mandatories right now. That was what the report. By the way, I'm not bullshitting here. That was what was the reported facts, about the mandatory rotation while this trilogy was going on. Okay, That is factual, and that was on all news websites. So here's the reason why I fucking hate this. Because pretty much you're trying to get Bivol stripped. You shouldn't have to defend the WBA belt anytime soon against the mandatory. But this is more the point which I don't get. Instead of mandating to where you're trying to get him strict, why ain't you mandating the WBA to let you fight the winner of the trilogy? Wouldn't that make more sense, gentlemen?
That's a body
That
bag.
way he gets his rep. That way he gets the fight. We get to see if he's an elite fighter. He gets.
He shouldn't have to mandate him if your man want his belt back. He dropped it on a. He dropped his belt on a specific reason for not fighting him. Right?
You're ignoring the fucking actual question that he made, dumbass.
Because that ain't what I just asked him answers everything. He shouldn't.
No,
have
it doesn't.
He shouldn't have to mandate nothing. He should want to fight him to get his belt back, just to be undisputed again.
Bro, listen to what the fuck he said. Repeat that shit here, kid. Repeat that.
Why wouldn't Bivol want to be undisputed? Can y'all answer that? Why wouldn't he want to be undisputed?
Why would Bivol not want to be undisputed? Maybe because the WBC treated him, over the Russia situation.
Well, hold on. That's the wrong answer. Hold on, wait a minute.
If that's the case, then why did he even take the WBC belt the first time?
Wait a second. Bivol was already undisputed. He already had it.
Yeah,
what difference does it make? He already been undisputed. Everybody know who the man is. You want to be the man at 175, you got to beat Bivol. Period.
It's a bit like the Lennox Lewis situation back in the 2000s. You remember when the
exactly?
WBA,
So that means.
Can I finish? You remember when the WBA? I'm going on historical. You remember when the WBA stripped him and gave the belt to the winner of Evander Holyfield, John Ruiz? Y'all remember that? And everyone was like, "Look, that belt. We all know Lewis is the man." Like that's the truth. That's what's going on here. It's dirty boxing politics. And I called out the WBC because I thought they were absolute bullshit on it. But this with the WBA, you're trying to know. It's not the fact that he's, fucking gone to the WBA. If he goes to the WBA and specifically requests to mandate me for the winner of the trilogy as the mandatory challenger, I got no problem with that. I don't think
more respectable.
Got that. That's what he's supposed to do. I think we could all agree.
Why should he do that?
I'm making my point.
You already made your point. You said he should. You already made your point.
The reason why I'm pissed off with Team David and David himself is because they want Bivol stripped of the belt. It's like you're trying to become a
I understand all that. I understand all that.
No, you don't.
I understand all that. So
no,
what
you
I'm
don't.
asking you
How do
is,
you have a problem with him mandating the WBA?
Listen, man, I understand that. What I'm asking what I'm asking you, say you prefer him to mandate the WBA to fight them, right? Yes. So the point I'm trying to make is this: being that you said, I had asked the first question. I said, being that he done gave up the belt. Listen, man, I said, being that Bivol had gave up the WBC belt, he didn't want to fight him. He wanted to complete the rubber match, right? The point I'm making is being that if he wins the belt, if he beats Benavidez, right? Shouldn't he want to be undisputed again, or do he just want to leave the belt alone because he had problems with Mauricio Sula?
Okay, I'm going to body bag you two ways here.
I'm asking the question. I said, should he drop it?
I'm answering you. Here's the thing. The reason why the WBC interrupted and stripped Bivol and Phil is because he.
We all know why. We all know that.
You're interrupting me fucking even answer because he had the contract with Arthur to do the trilogy if their side won. Okay, Eddie Hearn revealed that in a recent interview. This past month. If you all didn't see that, no. When it comes to the WBC belt, Bivol doesn't need it. He's recognized as the undisputed. He's recognized as the best champion in the division. He's the number one. That is truth. He doesn't need the belt. And after the way the WBC has treated it,
so if he lose, then that means Benavidez should have the same. Being that Benavidez is Russian, he should have the same. He should have the same. What's the name, right? He shouldn't want to fight him either, right?
Who?
Benavidez beat Bivol. He shouldn't want to be undisputed, right? He shouldn't want to come for them same reasons, right?
Well, what same reason is that?
What are you talking about?
The reason, listen, man.
You talking about that Russian band?
No, listen. I had asked him, right? That's why I said he didn't never answer the question. I had asked him. I said, if Bivol, being that Bivol gave his belt up not fight Benavidez to fight the rubber match, right? I said if he beats Benavidez, shouldn't he want his undisputed title back, or should he just leave it alone? That's what
Oh
I'm
my
asking.
God.
He explained it to you
Hold
already.
up, and hold up, but you
Oh,
you
man.
do realize that he didn't let go. Here's where you're fucking getting it wrong. He didn't fucking let go of the belt to not fight Benavidez. He had to let go of the belt because he was forced to.
He didn't have to. No, only thing he
Yes,
had
he
to do.
fucking did.
No, get the fuck out of here. No, you're not gonna bend
The
that line.
WBC
You're
jumped
not
in the
gonna
front of
bend
the
that line.
rotation,
You're
dumbass.
not gonna bend
Michael
that
Eifert was first.
No.
Michael Eifert was first. He's been mandatory since 2023 in March.
Nope. Because he
Exactly
could
what
have
I
fought.
said in the start. No, actually,
Fucking
you
bro,
got it back
this
yourself.
dude right here, bro.
I said right at the
That
start.
Alzheimer's, bro. Either I don't know what it
I
is.
can't listen to two people at
Dementia.
the same time. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I said right at the start, the WBC jumped the queue. It was supposed to be Michael Eifert with the IBF, and then it was supposed to be the WBO, which is Callum Smith.
We all know the order. I said.
Apparently you don't.
No,
you don't,
bro.
you
understand. We all know the
your
order.
point.
The bottom line is this: that he wouldn't have been stripped if he just would have fought Benavidez. So stop the bullshit.
No.
And he don't know Michael Eifert
wasn't in
first.
line.
If he would have canceled the rubber match to fight Benavidez, they wouldn't have took the WBC belt from him. So stop the bullshit, man.
No,
Oh my God, this guy's retarded, man. This
So
guy's
they would have
fucking
took
retarded.
Hold on.
So if he would have turned down the rubber match, they would have took the belt from him.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta finish. Hold on, hit. I gotta get to everybody else's thoughts on Boots and everything, and then we can freestyle it.
Oh my God.
Because this is because it just went off the rail again, man. It just went off the rail again, man. And the Gooch says, "Sorry, Timu Mirage, Kiwi, no super chats for you." That's for old boy. Only IBFP Ring IQ 0 for 7, and he's somewhere really mad at that. Domo says, Ashy, can we get a knockout from David? Why is it that the only two names that he's dropped in his last
30,
two fights?
my man 30 and 24.
Hold on, Ashley, Ashley, wait a minute.
What does that mean?
Hold on. All I heard was my man. Wait a minute. Before we get into this, bro, just 1 second, bro. I just gotta finish. Just 1 second, please, sir, please.
I'm gonna stick by him.
That's all. I just want to finish. So, Domo says, "At Ashy, can we get a knockout from David? Why is it that the only two names he's dropped in his last 6 fights happen to have been smaller guys?" Ashy, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, who was smaller?
Ooh, thank you.
Tyrone Davis.
Porky Medina.
That wasn't the last
fucking Andre.
I remember.
Bro, you're asking stupid ass questions that you already have an answer to.
The last person that gave up on David Benavidez was Boo Boo. That's the last knockout.
And that's a smaller fighter.
He's a smaller man.
And Boo Boo was Boo Boo.
We talking about
He was
175.
doo-doo. Call him Boo Boo, but he was a
two-weight
two-weight champion, undefeated. That's all I know.
Oh, remember he was an email champion too, right?
It don't matter. It don't
That's
matter.
an email champion
too.
But he fought somebody. He was an email and he defended the belt. Ain't that what y'all say? Ain't that what y'all said the criteria was? Didn't y'all say that about Bibble? Didn't y'all just say that about Bibble? He defended the belt. That's why it's not an email, right?
Hold on. Lord Scante says Ashy is criticizing Canelo for a knockout.
Boy, y'all be trying to move the goalposts.
Ashy, wait a minute. Well, you can talk about your man in 1 second. He's criticizing Canelo for a knockout, but who was David's last knockout? Not a TKO. Ashy?
Go ahead, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Who's his last knockout? Not a TKO.
His last knockout? Oh, it was a good minute. Good minute. But I'll take a give up. That's more. That's even better than a knockout. When I beat you to give up, I beat you so bad you gave up. Made you throw the towel in. How many people have y'all seen throw the towel in when they fought David Benavidez? Can y'all answer that question? Can y'all answer that question? I didn't answer all the questions for y'all. Can y'all answer a question for me?
1 second, Ashley. It's not better than a knockout because the knockout don't give you
how many fights did y'all see throw the towel in?
You don't have a choice to quit when you get knocked the fuck out. You sleep.
You
don't know what happened. That's the thing. You don't know what happened. You just sleep.
No, listen, I'd rather you knock me out than me get beat so bad that I just have to give up because you done beat the snot out of me.
But that's a choice.
You want to get put to sleep.
Knock me out. I'd rather go out on my back than go out and get beat the fuck down.
Pause.
I'd rather go out on my back.
My back. I don't know. Pause.
I'd rather go out on my shield on my back in the fight getting knocked out than me just getting beat. To me, get beat to a pulp to somebody gotta stop the fight.
Goofy. I read all your super chats. But let me read this one again just to make sure that we said it. Ashy kneecaps ride the short school bus. I just wanted to make sure that we already read this one, but I'm reading it
That's like
again
the fourth one
just
you
for
done read
just a
that said that.
reference, just in case everybody understands
Got to
why
get your
Ashley says
jokes
the
up, man.
things he
Get your
says.
jokes up.
Okay, hold on, Ashley.
Because it's never facts on the show. It's more jokes than facts. That's why I like
Every
coming
time
on
you
here.
get bodied with facts, you never accept them.
Listen, you don't. I done
You
bodied
never
you.
accept
Listen, man,
the
I done
facts.
bodied
So
you already in
you
the
will never
beginning. I done
acknowledge it as a fact.
I done bodied you in another. I done bodied you in the beginning of the show, and I done
When?
bodied.
Was that about
And I done
boxing or was
bodied.
that about
Somebody in
some
the
other
super
shit
chat.
that you
Oh, I'm
said?
good with that. If it's
That
only
had
two, I'll
nothing to
take
do
that.
with boxing.
I'll take
We
that.
were on a
If it's
racial
just two, I'll
topic.
take
What are
that.
you talking about?
Oh no,
Man, look here.
because I haven't.
IBFP. I'm not gonna go. You're gonna have to rewind the tape to hear that body.
That
Bag. I
wasn't a
can't go
body,
that
bro.
far back.
That wasn't,
Nah,
bro.
that wasn't a body.
That wasn't a body, man.
Yeah, of
This
course.
dude
Let
think
y'all
he
tell
be
it.
getting
Nothing is
bodies
a
and we
body bag.
like,
Let y'all
what are
tell
we
it.
talking about?
Y'all
Anyway,
laugh
man,
at
hold
stupid
on.
jokes
Domo
like I
says
belong on the short
Solidus.
bus.
All right, 1 second, Ashley. All right, Domo says Solidus. If we all know that David's the only guy left for Canelo, why would he leave the division and move himself away from the fight? Remember, he forced the fight upon Bivol with the sanctioning body, but he didn't do that with Canelo. I find that very interesting, especially if he was the only fight left
I'm
for Canelo.
answering your question.
He said Solidus,
He
not
left.
Ashley.
And
Hold on,
nobody's
Ashley.
asking you, dumbass.
He jumped
He said Solidus, my brother. He just heard
Oh my
Benavidez and he
gosh.
jumped in there. He said, David, no,
He left
where?
168. He left
He's asking
168.
Solid. It's not you.
He left
Solidus, would you like to
168.
respond to this?
He left 168 because
Ashley,
Mauricio
relax.
Suleiman didn't do it.
Okay, 1 second. Solidus, the floor is yours.
No, I
don't
feel
think he's
like
there.
everybody kind of already knows what happened with that, so it really don't at this point don't matter.
Okay, we'll leave
We
it at
all
that.
know if Mauricio Suleiman would have did Canelo like he did Bivol, they would have fought, or he would have gave up the belt. We all know this. Let's not tap dance around that. Okay?
Can I ask you why y'all think this dude deserves to be prioritized over everybody else?
Can we not tap dance around that? If
Well,
Suleiman would have
Ashley,
did,
hold
if
on, Ashley,
Suleiman
answer
would have
this
did
question.
Canelo like he
My
did
brother still,
Bivol,
hold on, still
if he
ask
would
your
have
question.
treated Bivol, if he would have treated
Ashley,
Canelo
relax.
like Bivol,
Ashley,
Oh
you
my
gotta listen, my
gosh.
brother. You gotta listen. Still is asking you a question. Why does David Benavidez deserve to be prioritized over every other fighter?
he don't need to be prioritized.
Well, then why is he
just
looking to
need
get
he
motherfucking
just listen,
stripped?
man. He
And
just
why
need
y'all
to fight
demanding
him.
that?
He just need to
Why
fight him after the rubber match.
y'all
He don't
y'all?
fight him after the rubber match. He's ducking. He go anywhere else
Well, then if that
besides
well, if it's the rubber match, then why?
Benavidez
Okay,
and
fight him after the rubber
175.
match. Then why get
He's
him
ducking him.
stripped?
Whether y'all want to say it's a duck or
The
not,
rubber match,
that's what
cool.
the fuck it is.
Fight.
Bottom line.
Nobody is disagreeing with that. Nobody. And I'll be real with you. Most people would rather that he fight Benavidez instead of the rubber match. But he's contractually obligated to fight that rubber match. So with that being said, why do y'all think David Benavidez is in a position where he needs to be prioritized over something that he's contractually obligated to do? And why does everybody kind of have to stop doing what it is that they doing from
I'm gonna tell you why.
168
Because for
pounds?
one,
Hold on.
I can't tell you why David
My
feels the way he
dude.
feels, but I can give you my opinion.
Okay, I right.
Let him finish.
Why do y'all think that, from 168 pounds to 175 pounds, why do y'all think that everybody has to stop what it is that they doing to prioritize this dude who's barely done enough to be deserving of a fight with any of the dudes that we want to see him fight?
Okay, let's put the facts out there. Before Benavidez fought Caleb Plant, what did Canelo say? You fought no one. You only fought one champion, Anthony Durrell. That's what he told him. Fight other people, then you could fight me. Okay. So David said, okay, let me up.
We don't need the accent, Ashley. We don't need the accent.
Finish.
You could just say it.
Let me finish. So Benavidez said, you know what? Let me up my resume. Let me go over here and get Caleb Plant. Okay, it was a knockout. He won. Okay, he said, that's not enough. I gotta fight Boo Boo next. Why? Because you went up and fought Charlo, right? Okay, I'll go fight Boo Boo.
Hold on. Did he just say that he knocked out Caleb Plant? I remember
No,
that
I
being
said he didn't knock him out. See, that's why I said, listen. I said, okay, no, he didn't knock him out, but he won. Okay, that wasn't enough. Okay, let me finish. That wasn't enough for Canelo. That wasn't
Anybody
enough
want chips
resume.
and soda for your
he
flight,
said,
guys?
okay. So he said, okay, let me take.
Ashley, we good. We got to get back to it. We got to get back because we got to
All
get
right,
back
don't
on this
answer
Boo
question
thing
if you
too.
don't want to hear the answers, man. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You asked the question. I was breaking it down to you so it won't be no misconfusions.
Okay.
Let's get to the next question.
You got it. The Gooch says the walls are closing in on Canelo. The walls are are closing in on Benavidez. Who is he going to fight? Oh, I know, David Lemieux rematch.
Do you know who he's not going to
I have
fight?
no problem with the rematch.
Hey, do you know who he's not going to fight?
Then you said if he fight Callum Smith, he just
Hey.
regurgitating Canelo fighters. He just fighting
He
the
ain't,
same
he ain't going to fight Bivol because Bivol's going to drop the other belt. He's going to take his shit again. What's
You
up?
happy with that, bro? You happy with that?
Hey, I want to know. How many belts does Bivol have to drop until you guys blame Bivol instead of Benavidez? Tell me that.
Do you remember that the WBA?
One second. We're gonna get back to you, my brother. We're gonna get back to
If he
you.
drops them all,
Hold on,
is it still?
we're gonna circle around, fellas. Let me just finish the chats and then we'll circle around. We'll circle around. Caesar, my brother Caesar says at Ashy Coke Line Knuckles, you want Bivol to fight a boy in your boy David rather than Better Biev, a man.
Damn, he said a boy and a man.
If he drops it,
he fights a man.
I want to know
Hold
that.
on, Mirage, relax. We just got to get these because you super long-winded, my brother, and we'll let you get the floor. Fernando says, as she said, Benavidez missed weight because of COVID. That's what he didn't. You do not miss weight because of COVID. Missing weight is a discipline issue or a health issue, but it's not because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
No, he said, "Oh, because it was around. There was no gyms around. Most people have home gyms. What are we talking about?
You could run.
And then being on weight management comes down to food and discipline.
Yeah, you should have
And
fasted.
you can run miles outside. You don't need a gym.
Shit, in certain places in COVID, it was no going outside running. You know that. Stop.
You could have gone to the gyms, but you he didn't have Amazon. He couldn't order no shit to work out at home.
I'm not saying where David Benavidez. I just said that in general. I'm not saying where David Benavidez.
Okay, hold on. The Gooch says mute Ashy Knuckles. Salute to the Gooch. My brother Goofy Combat says Demetrius Andre was a manufactured American hype job. There are European fighters that have similar records to him that are not pushed by American networks or world boxing establishment. This is I 100% agree. The man never fought a world champion. He never fought a sitting world champion. He's a hype job. Been in the sport of boxing too long. This is nothing but facts.
It don't matter. He still was a champion, regardless of what y'all say.
You're talking about email champion. So what is Demetrius Andre an email champion?
He could be all that. He still was a champion.
Okay.
Regardless of what you say.
All right.
Can't
Salute
take that
to
away.
Outstrike. He said his other super chat. I'm gonna find it for you, my brother, right now. And my brother Caesar says those were your words, Ashy. Coke line.
Is Caleb
Knuckles.
Smith an interim champion? Is Caleb Smith an interim champion?
No. He's nobody. He's just the number one contender.
So the interim belt, what y'all call the interim belts again? Because y'all call it what's the name of the email? What y'all was calling the interim belts? Nuke, what y'all was calling them again?
Reggie belts.
Baby belts.
Yeah, the Reggie belts. Y'all see, y'all got Reggie belts. Y'all got email belts. Boy, y'all just got so many, man. We just don't know.
Yeah,
we just don't know.
Nobody is praising Callum Smith for being a fucking interim champion,
only thing people got to do is just sign the contract. Just fight the monster, man. That's what you got to do.
All right, hold on. Last super chat, and then we're good, man. Outstrike says Ashley thinks the panel will cry if David beats Canelo or Bivol, but they are unbiased and will congratulate him if he does.
No, I don't want her to cry.
But hold on, but then
Ashley,
relax 1 second. So Ashley believes the panel will cry if David beats Bivol or something like that. But the truth of the matter is, when Bivol cooks David, then Ashley's going to disappear for months. That's what's going to happen. And you're not going to see this guy anywhere.
All that sounds good. But what about if the shoes is on the other foot? How's that going to go?
Oh my God. The what ifs. The what ifs.
Yeah,
the what if. Hold on, let me go to Park Street real quick. Park Street, do you think Boots Ennis is overrated, underrated, or where he belongs? What do you think about his performance?
I think he's right where he belongs. Me personally, I'm real big on defense. I've never actually competed, but I have been in the ring a few times, and I would consider myself, a defensive counterpuncher. He gets hit way too much for the credit, and it's kind of like Terrence Crawford. They give Terrence Crawford, this defensive genius, title. Like, no, he gets hit way too much, and the same thing with Jaron Ennis. So if he fights somebody that has a chin that can, handle his power and is a good counterpuncher, he's going to lose. Same thing with David, same thing with, Terrence Crawford. Yeah, so that's what it is. I think he's right where he need to be at.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Carlos, what do you think about Boots? His last performance. Where does he need to be?
I think I agree. I think he's rated where he's supposed to be. I can't say he's overrated. He's doing what he has to do at 147. I actually have him in my personal pound for pound list. Because in my pound for pound list, it's like, what have you done for me lately? So it's like in that division at 147, he's beating everybody. He's beating the Mario Barrios. He's beating Brian Norman Jr. Shit. Haney ain't gonna fight him. Ryan Garcia ain't messing with him. Shit, I don't even favor Teofimo because I think Bruce Ennis beats all of them. But here's the thing that when he's gonna have trouble when he moves up at 154 because at 154 it's the Wild Wild West. You know what I mean? That's where he's gonna have problems because that showboating that's not gonna work as well when you gotta fight someone like Ortiz. Shit, even Sander Sayas or a Bakram, people like that. So yeah,
Agreed.
All right.
And I just want to say this real quick because I'm gonna, hey Nuke, I'm gonna step off so I can give someone else a chance to be on the live. I don't know, Supreme or Clavo, so they can have a chance to get on because the studio's full. What y'all think about, last question, what y'all think about Canelo after this 4-fight deal retiring? It seems like he's going to retire after this 4-fight deal.
I think it's possible.
As he should.
Do it.
Yeah, he should stop embarrassing the sport and just retire. 100%.
God damn.
Hey, and nobody answered my question. If Bivol drops all his belts, is it still going to be David's fault and not Bivol's?
Bullshit that David's even trying to push this to the WBA.
Of course it's
Is
going
that
to
a
be
yes?
his fault.
Whose
You already
fault?
know.
All right.
I don't even know why you asked this panel.
Here we go.
Hey, why are you worried about the WBA? Bivol already said. Bivol already said.
All right, guys, shout out to y'all, man. I'll keep listening.
Salute Carlos, man.
All right.
And Edgar, did you want one second? Edgar, did you want to give any 1 second hit? Edgar, did you want to give any take on that Boots Ennis situation or anything real quick?
I'm gonna agree with what the guy said before, but I'm also gonna agree with what Steele said. Like, I think a certain fan base behind him has him overrated because of whatever reason. But yeah, at 147, I mean, the two guys that may pose a threat, maybe Ryan and Theo. At 154, I don't think he's ready for that yet.
Okay, and I just want to add my little commentary on that when it comes to Boots. I think I got Boots in the gray area. 1 minute, I think Boots is right where he belongs. I think people giving him the right credit. And then I see certain posts where people saying he's going to move up to 160 and beat Janabek and then beat the guys at 68. And I'm like, I don't know if he can do any of that shit. I don't know if he can survive the gauntlet at 54. I don't know that. And so it's like I'm seeing people overrate him. I'm seeing people shit on him, and I'm seeing people right in the middle. So I think he's a good fighter. I think he got some work to do, and that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it at. For myself, I think he's a good fighter, and I think it was an excellent win. I expected him to actually struggle in that fight, and he dominated the whole thing. And so I had no problem with it. My thing is, I know it's just gonna get easier with Norman and Barrios. So really, his challenges lie up in weight at 54, at 60, 68, as far as he want to go up in weight.
Yeah, I want to get my take on Boots real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, I think Boots did a hell of a performance this past Saturday. I think that performance, I think people are putting him on a pound for pound list. I personally wouldn't do that just yet. It's too early for that. But I was impressed with his performance. And 147, I think he cleans out that division. Brian Norman Jr., I see him stopping him inside 3 rounds. Barrios, let's not even talk about him. I think he's the foregone conclusion. He'll just easily wipe the floor with him. So I think he cleans out 147 pretty easily, right?
What about Ryan and Teo? If those fights happen, Edgar said he believed those could be challenges. Ryan Teo against Boots, how do you see that?
I think he does the same thing. I think he dominates those guys as well. With those guys moving up. So yeah, I think those guys that want to move up. Here's the thing, right? With 147, like I said, I think Boots will clean out 147. He'll move up to the gauntlet at 154. those smaller guys coming up to 147. As soon as he move up, they're going to move up to 147, right? But his ceiling, in my opinion, right? I think his ceiling, he has a possibility of becoming a 3-division champion. Possibility, meaning he can become champion at 147, 54, and 60. I'm giving him that ceiling because I think, you know, he has that athletic ability to do that. People talk about Boots gets hits too much. The difference is, and I said this before, the difference is that, yeah, Boots gets hit, but we have yet to see him hurt. We've seen Virgil Ortiz hurt and drop. We've seen Brian Norman Jr. get hurt and drop. We have yet to see him hurt, wobbled, right, or stanky, whatever you want to call it, as of yet. Now, he is a adaptive, smart fighter. So when he moves up to 154, I doubt he's going to do all that showboating and, you know, trying to roll punches and all that stuff with guys that hit harder. So I think he'll be more defensively responsible as he moves up, which is why I'm giving him a shot to become a 3-division champion, right? So I think Boots overall as a talent, you know, he definitely is a great talent for the sport, has a great ceiling. I just think right now, in terms of pound for pound, he's not there yet. He can eventually be on the pound for pound list, but not there yet. So that's pretty much my take on him.
Okay, this is an excellent breakdown. Still, let me just ask you this, man. Do you think that Ryan or Tio has a chance against Boots?
Fuck no. Hell the fuck no. Them dudes is easy work, man. Because I mean, the thing is with Boots, man. You need good feet to be able to stay in front of him and not let him dance on you and spin you and dip you the way that he was doing standing on us, man. Ryan and Tio ain't got none of that. I like Devin Haney's chances in front of fucking Boots before I like not Brian Norman, but Tio and Ryan. You dig? No. Oh, hold up. Let me. Did you say Brian Norman or did you say Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia and Teofimo.
Okay. Yeah. Nah. Fuck no. Them dudes, yeah, bro. Them dudes get euthanized, man. Easy work, bro. As far as my man said, Brian Norman, I like Brian Norman's chances against Boots. I think it's close to a 50-50 fight. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna run through Brian Norman as easy as he ran through Stanionis, because even as a pressure fighter, he's a lot more defensively responsible than Amontes Stanionis. He's quicker on the counter as well, man. Amontes was trying his best to get in punching position and get comfortable with his timing and all that before he would let a shot go. Brian, I think, is going to shoot those shots back in a lot more fashionable manner than fucking Amontes Stanionis. So I like Brian Norman's chances against Boots, but I get why y'all would say that. You know, I get why y'all think that he is smack on that dude. I get it.
The only thing I'll say is I don't think I've ever disagreed with Steel Mills. But on the Brian Norman thing, I think he gets cooked. I think Boots is cooking him. I don't think it's a hard fight.
Lost the plot.
And I'm gonna go to Hit because I know Hit want to respond to that. He's super excited. And Edgar, did you have any? Hold on 1 second. I just want to go to Edgar real quick. Edgar, did you have any feedback about what Steel or my brother GMO said about Boots and Ryan Garcia, Teofimo not really believing those guys can be competitive with Boots? What do you think about that? Because he said euthanize. He said put them down.
No, I mean, I don't know, Steel, bro. I mean, I gotta respectfully disagree. I think those guys have fought a little bit, you know, like higher competition, which may make them rise to the occasion. I'm not saying they're gonna beat him, but I did say that those are the only two guys in that weight range where I would see it as a very competitive fight.
Well, I think I'm not going to disagree with you, man. Of course, you know, Lomachenko is one of the greats, you dig, and Boots ain't fought nobody of that caliber as far as skill set and accolades yet, but it's just the fact that he's in a higher division and he's still considered, you know, he's still pretty big for that division. So just on the premise of that alone, yeah, you dig. Nah, bro. Even though you fought a higher grade of opposition than Boots, is just nah, bro. No, bro. You can't duplicate fucking what Boots is gonna do to you because you fought Lomachenko or even a Josh Taylor. It's gonna be bad for Tio if he gets in there and fight him, and he's gonna be double bad for Ryan if he gets in there and fights him.
I don't know. Well, I hope we see. I hope we'll see.
Definitely.
And the only thing I'll add about this is I think especially at 47, Teofimo, he had the Josh Taylor win, he had the Loma win, but he had some suspect situations, and he lost to Kambosos. When you look at everything in the picture, and this is no hater diss towards T.O. I think he's a good quality fighter. He's gonna have to prove who he says he is right now. He's gonna have to prove it. Because now, because it's hard to believe you right now, because I've seen what happened in so many other fights. You're gonna have to. I don't want to see no struggle with Barboza. You need to just run through him. Run through Barboza, then you start building up. I'm like, okay, maybe T.O. is really that guy. Like, okay, and then in 47, you make a and get another statement win or something. But if you struggle with this man or lose or get a robbery or because some reason he get these decisions, then I'm like, okay, we got a fraud check on T.O.
Hey,
So he's gonna have to really show me something right now. T.O. gonna have to show me because I'm just seeing a lot of talk. Ryan gonna have to show me too because Ryan was losing rounds against Devin Haney. I'm not gonna say because Ryan didn't clean sweep that fight either. I mean, if I'm wrong still, I mean, and so my whole thing is I think Ryan need to make some improvements. I think Devin Haney, he can't improve that chin. He has excellent abilities, but he can't do nothing with that chin. That's why I think Haney going to sleep. Haney going to sleep. He's going to sleep.
Oh yeah, Haney gets killed.
How many warm-ups did Stanionis have before he fought Boots after that layoff he had?
He had one fight.
I feel that wasn't enough to come back and fight Boots after that kind of layoff.
I agree.
Can we get back to some real cooking or what?
Oh my fucking god!
I'm gonna let you cook real quick, Mirage. Let Hit Kid get his point off, and then you got
blame the PBC moment right there, if I'm allowed to say it. Trash ass organization for not getting Stanionis out on fight cards. That's the truth behind that. That's a blame PBC, and that's why he got killed by Boots. I completely disagree on Norman being Boots' toughest fight. 180%. Because not despite I watched Norman's fight, on the co-main event, on the Ryan Mailer undercard. This man can't afford a left hook. And Boots is, stronger in the southpaw stance. He cannot for the light, and this is against the nobody guy.
Can you go higher than that, Hit Kid? Can you go even higher than that?
I don't think Stanionis was a good. I don't think Stanionis was a good measuring stick for Boots.
On the undercard of the Mailer Ryan card, and pretty much Norman couldn't afford a straight left hook of a guy who I've never really heard of, which is Boots' strongest punch. I think Boots absolutely kills Norman. I think he takes him out within 6 rounds. I'm that confident on that.
I just don't like the credit. I just don't like the credit Boots is getting for this win over Stanionis.
I'm not.
But it's a good win.
When it comes to Stanionis is a legit champion. So
I mean, it's a good win, but I'm just saying
I'm not overrating Boots. Like I said, I'm not.
The problem
he's going to go up in the divisions and become multiple weight world champion. I don't see that, but I'll give him credit.
The problem,
he's a unified champ now. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair credit.
What are you saying,
You guys are overrated him. I agree. He's been overrated.
Solidus, what was your question, Solidus?
The problem with Stanionis is he's never fought nobody as talented as Boots. So this outcome was likely to happen.
And not only that, but just
I kind of because I'm looking at it like Stanionis is good because they're shitting on him now, saying he's a bum and all that because he lost. They wanted him to win. But it's like he ain't never fought nobody as good as Boots before. He's going to lose this fight. Then he got in there, and you can see he's unmatched. He's not on that level. Boots is just way better boxer. You're gonna get hit. People they say he got hit too much. It's like no fighter is going to fight and not get hit. So, but are you going to get hurt though? He never got hurt. But I was like, he's just going to outbox the guy. That's exactly what he did. Because he's never like Karen fight good guys. He will lose. Karen never fought nobody like Boots before.
That was
just
about to
that's a hell of a
fighter.
point.
Yeah, but he lost twice though. Right? His toughest fight was against Karen. Fought him twice, 24 rounds. Right? How was that his toughest fight? How was that his toughest fight? You made the point talking about that. You made the point. Right, you made the point. He made him look vulnerable?
Yes. Extremely vulnerable.
Did Boots get hurt in that fight where it was like, oh, Boots is in trouble? You don't have to get hurt in order to look vulnerable, Brody. That's right. Getting hurt is not the only thing. Was Karen outplaying him? Was Karen outplaying him? Was he outplaying Boots?
Was outmaneuvering him, and Boots couldn't cut off the ring.
Was Karen outpointing Boots to the point where it could be Karen winning the fight? Yes or no?
Listen what I'm saying, loved one. Listen what I'm saying. He wasn't outpointing him. Hold on. He wasn't outpointing him. No argument that you can
Then
make
that other
that
shit don't really matter then.
no, it does matter. There's no argument that
Bro,
you can make
seriously.
that Karen won that fight, but there's no reason why a 41st ranked fighter in the division has you looking vulnerable to the point where you can't cut off the ring and you're punching so wide, throwing uppercuts in the middle of the ring that you're doing the Michael Jackson spin off because you're looking so bad. That's a bad look. And when you fight somebody who's in when you fight somebody who's in a position to capitalize off of your inability to cut the ring off from somebody and keep spinning you the way that they spinning you, and they can put shots down the middle on your chin strap, that's going to put you to sleep. That's gonna affect you to the point where you can't get into your own offense. I'm not saying that Karen.
Wait a minute. When Karen did land shots on him, he couldn't even follow up. You land a shot, Boots is able to cover up and keep you from following up. Why is Karen getting credit for that? Why is he getting credit for that?
The fact that listen to what I'm saying.
No, that's not the point. You're missing the point, bro.
You are completely missing the point. Karen was a 41st ranked fighter, unheralded fighter in the division. He had so much real estate to operate in the ring with in front of Boots, and Boots could not find a way to pin him to the ropes to get rid of him. If that was Bud, do you think that motherfucker goes 12 rounds with Bud? Do you think he goes 12 rounds with Bud?
No. Boots is not. No, Boots is not better. Boots is not better than Bud. I ain't going to speak on that.
But that's my point. When you are a certain grade of fighter, when you're being praised as being a certain grade of fighter, you're supposed to go in there and get rid of this dude, a dude who's 41st ranked in the division, or at least beat the shit out of him.
I look at it.
I got a question for
I look at it. I look at it differently.
Who is Boots' toughest opponent to date?
Hold up. I look at it differently. I understand. I'm not tripping off that, but if a guy loses to you twice, I can't really. I mean, he might have had some moments in the fight, like you were explaining. That's fine, but I can't really give you too much credit if you lost to the guy twice. I can't do that. I get what you're saying, but I can't really stamp that because it's like you lost to the guy twice, so you can't give you too much credit.
Who's Boots' toughest fight to date? Solid, in your opinion, who's Boots' toughest fight?
Who's his toughest fight? This might be a controversial take, but I think that Mexican dude was giving him a good run. The one he knocked out, Villa, that was a good little scrap. I think he was giving him some good competition in that fight. I thought
he got dramatic. He got decapitated. What the?
No, he did. He did get knocked out. But during the fight, he was actually competing really good. Roman Villa, I think that's his Mexican dude. I actually think he's a decent fighter. I actually kind of like him. Venezuelan, yeah, I actually like him a little. He's a good fighter. But prior to getting knocked out, he got knocked out. Yes, I understand that. We all know that. Prior to the knockout, he was actually kind of competing good. He wasn't not like he was going to beat Boots, but he was like competing at a high level with Boots.
Boots was playing with that man.
He got knocked out in 2 rounds in the fight after Boots, didn't he?
He was playing with Stanionis.
Yeah, he was playing with Stanionis. He was playing with Stanionis. The thing is, I think you're getting confused with
Hey, let me ask this. Who fought Boots better, Villa or Stanionis? Who competed against Boots better, Villa or Stanionis?
Did Villa fight
neither one?
Stanionis?
Oh no, if we being written, no. I can accept Stanionis. Stanionis was putting jabs in his face consistently, bro.
You thought it was better than Villa?
The thing is with Villa is he was bigger and he was more durable, and he wasn't, he couldn't break him down in the manner that he broke down Stanionis because he was just a little bit more beefier and durable than Stanionis. But Stanionis did better work as far as making contact with his fist in his face. Stanionis did better. They both got outlined and chalk, but nonetheless, Stanionis did do better. Villa didn't do better per se. He was just bigger and durable enough to take the shots. He wore the shots.
I thought Villa landed better shots, me personally.
Okay, now I got a couple panel questions for you guys. The fans got a couple questions. Santiago says, who wins right now, 154, Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis?
Virgil Ortiz.
Virgil.
Hey, what does Virgil do? What does Virgil do? What does Virgil do that stand out? Because they're talking like this nigga's Mike Tyson from '86 or something. What's so good about it?
I will answer that question. Let me answer that for you.
I want to hear this.
Virgil has been in front of 2 mobile opponents who punch on the go. McKinson, Real Madrimov. McKinson, and he was able to he walked down Madrimov and beat the ever living shit out of him. Boots is son of a mobile target. He's stagnant, dog. He can't cut off the ring. Boots is
The
not
problem,
as,
the thing,
but
the
Boots isn't as effective in his pressure that Virgil was in, bro. Virgil was the far more educated pressure fighter. He's
this is
fast.
going to be.
His hands are faster. I think he hits harder.
Virgil's a lot more hittable though. Virgil's got a poorer defense. He's quite hittable, right?
When you're a pressure
It's going to
fighter,
be.
you're gonna get hit. When you're a
point.
pressure
No,
fighter,
but-
you're gonna get hit.
Good point, Mirage.
Yeah, but versus Boots, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. If they match up, he's going to be there for
Virgil.
Boots to tee off.
Hold on. Let
Virgil.
me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Mirage. Didn't you pick Mandramov to beat Virgil?
God damn it.
Hang on, no, I had it like
Yes, you did.
50.
Yes, you
No,
did.
no,
That's a body.
no.
That's
They
a
told
body.
me.
That's a
I
quick
picked
body.
between
That's
them.
a body.
I-
We got a dead
No, I
body over
didn't.
here.
No, I didn't.
Go on and zip him
Why
up.
the hell would I pick Madronov? No, I didn't. Don't bullshit. Don't bullshit.
That's
No,
a body.
that was Fight Sport. No, I'm actually going
It's a bullshit body.
Hold on. Let me. No, because everybody shouted it out. Who did you have winning? Virgil or Boots hit?
I had for me, Virgil. Virgil wins this fight.
Okay.
I
Hold on, Solidus. Who did you have winning the fight? Virgil or Boots? Straight up. You
answer it.
gotta pick now.
Boots.
If you had to pick.
Virgil, Boots. Virgil is not a mover. He's never fought a mover like that. You can't just say he's going to beat him off that.
Okay.
Mandramov is not on Boots level.
Park Street. I know, I'm just getting a quick poll real quick. I'll let you speak on Park Street.
Come on,
Park
bro.
Street. Who did you have winning? Virgil or Boots?
I think that's a 50-50 fight. Me personally, it comes down to who got the better chin. And Boots ain't really been tested. Virgil has. So I'm probably going to lean towards Virgil.
Okay. Edgar, who you picking in that? Virgil or Boots?
I'm gonna take Virgil, and if I stand corrected, didn't Boots duck Virgil?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
Boots doesn't even believe he beat Virgil. That's why
actions speak volumes.
The problem with people saying ducking is I'm noticing is everybody gets called a duck. That's why when I hear people say somebody duck, I'm real dismissive of that because everybody says everybody's ducking. So I don't even really care about that.
Let's not use the word duck. Let's use the word avoided the fight.
Because they literally say that about everybody. Pretty soon you're going to hear somebody say Ortiz.
But he avoided the fight, right? He avoided the fight.
Right now, they're trying to get Ortiz to fight the dude that beats him too, goofy ass. And they're saying Ortiz is not really interested. When that comes out, they're going to say Ortiz is a duck. So all that duck shit, I'm not really. Fuck all that. Fuck all that.
I want to know
if
how
they
you
fight,
think Boots
who's
is
gonna
going
get
to
him?
be. I want to know how you think Boots is going to be able to deal with someone like a Virgil Ortiz.
I think Boots would beat Ortiz. If Boots, it's like this. Virgil Ortiz is kind of like basic. He doesn't really like he has good punch placement, but he doesn't have the best of footwork. I think Boots. Now he got good footwork, but not the best of footwork. Boots damn near got elite level footwork. If he can just hit and move and not let Ortiz pound, because Ortiz he wants to come forward and just pound on. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing else. Boots can beat you this way, beat you that way. He can move this way, move that way. He can just outbox you.
Wow. Ennis is stylistically very similar to Ortiz,
Didn't you
right?
say, Saladin, didn't you say like 20 minutes ago, didn't you say that Boots is not as good as Bud?
No, he's not as good as Bud. No.
Okay. And how did Bud fare against Madrimov?
I thought he did good against Madrimov.
But how did the fight go? Did he look spectacular?
Well, I told you this last time. It's his first fight at 54.
No, it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Did he look spectacular? Yes or no?
Wait a minute. I talked to you before about this. You already know what I'm going to say. It was his first fight at 54. So, of course, it's not going to go perfect.
Now you're going with that narrative. What I'm trying to say is he didn't look spectacular. I'm not telling you. He did not look spectacular. He did not look spectacular. He fought. You said, listen. You're saying Bud is better than Boots. Bud is better than Boots. And what did Virgil just do to the same opponent that they have in common?
Bogus as hell. You heard me tell you that, and you're going to switch it up on me like that? I told you already. It's his first fight at 54.
Can I interrupt then?
I don't know what that means.
By that regard, it would be Boots' first fight at 154. So how do you think it's going to go?
Oh, say it again. Say it again.
I said in that aspect, it would be Boots' first fight at 154. So how do you think that's gonna go?
Damn.
Yo,
It wouldn't be good, would it?
nah.
By your analogy.
Shit, my
Is
Bluetooth
Boots
came out.
Crawford? Is Boots a
No.
38-year-old Crawford? No, he's a different person. He has a different style.
Oh, so now, oh wait, Mirage. So now, Bud is not a pound for pound fighter. Now he's all of a sudden not a pound for pound fighter.
Madronov was a bad style. Madronov was a bad style for Crawford. Crawford is also cautious, counterpuncher. Was a bad style. Boots is different style.
But Crawford's a switch hitter.
Shit.
Crawford can adapt to anything. He's a switch hitter.
It's still a stylistically it was a bad matchup.
Let me see what Hit got to say because
I
Hit want to come in.
I need to come in on this, okay? Okay. Solidus, I'll agree. It was Bud's first fight at 154. That's a point I think is very fair of Solidus to counteract Edgar, okay? No, Boots does fight a bit of a different style to Crawford, but takes a lot more punches. I'd be interested in seeing a Boots versus Madrimov fight. I think that'd be a really good tactical fight, and I would edge Boots, but I would say it's 60-40 fight, okay?
I got Madrimov in that fight.
It's a close fight.
Damn. You said Madrimov in that fight?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is to Solidus, but this is more of a counteract to Mirage, okay? Mirage says bad corners think
That's impossible. You can't do it. You're not capable of it, kid. Don't bother.
Let me go. Solidus, you said Bud looked bad, because it was this 154 thing, okay? So I'm going to use this point now to attack Mirage. Solidus, if Bud's looking bad, the extra weight at 154, then can we all maybe as a panel agree that, my God, we may not look forward to seeing what he looks like at 168 when he fights Canelo? The 38-year-old man, which Mirage is saying beats Canelo. Y'all remember this?
Canelo's a better stylistic matchup to Madronov. Don't worry about it. Wait and see. Wait and see.
Hey Mirage. Remember what I said, Mirage? I said put 500 on it, and I'll bet you right now.
2 seconds later, because I don't pay attention to what you say.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, you don't pay attention.
My buddy on that one.
I'll up it up. I'll put 1,000 on the table, straight up.
Damn.
No,
you won't take the bet. You won't take the bet because you're not man enough. You're not man enough to take the bet.
Wait, hold on. Will you take the bet or not? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then. There we go.
I only bet on sure things. It's not a sure thing. If it was Canelo Benavidez,
you sound pretty confident before. You sounded pretty confident before.
We got a couple more comments.
my house on Benavidez Canelo, would you?
Hold on one second. We got a couple more comments. Mike Trade says Boots versus Bakram right now. Who wins? I got Bakram over Boots.
Bakram violate
Bakram.
Solidus, who you got? Boots or Bakram right now? Solidus, Boots or Bakram?
He just said Bakram.
Okay.
He just said it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got Bakram too.
Okay.
Easy work.
Okay, and then
Yeah, I got back rub as well.
Goofy's Combat says, I have Boots in a 60-40 fight versus Virgil. That Belichick fight really showed Virgil's vulnerabilities. A more competitive fight is Boots versus Bakram. So he's echoing the same thing. I think Virgil has an extra gear, though. I think that's a little bit different.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit different. You want to break that down real quick still?
No, I mean, I just think when you look at Bohachuk is bigger than he's bigger than Boots. You know what I'm saying? He's bigger than Boots. And as you said, he has a second gear. The second when he got put down. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right, word. When when Virgil got put down by Bohachuk for the second time, I don't know. This dude just went into Dimension X or something and just started I don't know, bro. He just has like this killer instinct in the man that just can't be denied. We ain't seen Boots in them type of situations, and we ain't seen Boots in there with nobody that can really thoroughly challenge him. Bohachuk and Madrimov challenged Virgil Ortiz, and even Kavaliauskas.
Exactly. I was about to say Kavaliauskas.
Like I have like I'd like Kavaliauskas' chance against fucking Brian Norman. If we being real, if we being real, Kavaliauskas could be a champion in the division and possibly beat all them other motherfuckers on experience alone. So I can't sit here and I don't see how somebody can sit here and tell me that Boots is going to beat Virgil Ortiz. I don't see how. Boots has not been in there with the better opponents. And he just hasn't been through the type of gears that fucking Ortiz has, bro. Ortiz is a dog. That dude is a dog.
Now let me ask you guys one more question. Is this justified? The price points came out for the Canelo Skull fights and the Ryan Garcia Riley Romero fights. Each card is $59.99, or you can get both cards for $89.99. Is that justified or not?
No.
Both cards. That's the first I've heard of that. So
Yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
you could get both cards for $89.99 because they're back-to-back days. I think you can get it in
Yeah,
a weekend
Ryan's fighting on Friday.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you can
I
get it
see.
in a weekend bundle. So it'll be Friday and
That's some
Saturday
weird ass
cards, I
shit.
believe.
A bundle
Weird
pack.
ass shit. there.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
with through the
basically,
zone.
both nights, so those fights, I can get it for 89, which I can get for 89. I only get one PBC bullshit ass scrap.
How many fights are on each card?
I mean, we got
I'm not
Theo,
sure
we got
about how
I
many
like the
Ryan,
fights
fact
on
the
each
card
card.
is separated. Where is it bundled? I don't like that, but I think the price is
price is good.
justifiable only if it was the same card altogether. In my
But
opinion,
if it's
so.
back-to-back days and it's like 10 fights, and we're gonna get Ryan, Haney, T.O.
I think it should be one price or one one
Facts.
price.
Well, but if it was one price,
No, but
then it would be like
yeah.
140. So technically,
It would be 100.
Yeah, so it's actually cheaper.
It's like a PBC price event, but for 2 pay-per-views instead of 1.
No, that sounds reasonable.
So is it justified or not?
I think it's reasonable.
The only issue that we have here is the quality of the fights are not.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only problem. That's what makes you say, is this really justified? Should it be 50 for both, 25 and 25? Because I'm like, what happens to a more reasonable price? It just seems a little high for Canelo Skull and for Ryan and Raleigh, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Am I tripping, Clavo? Is this justified or am I tripping?
I mean, I say yeah. I mean, we're getting. I know. We'd rather see them together. All within one card, which that'll be great. But I mean, we're getting 2 separate nights. You got a bunch of fighters, a lot of fights for just the same price that you get a PBC fight for, bro. I mean, that's the only thing. Just like Gmo said, if it was all under one, I think it'd be better. But the price is good. I think the price is fair.
I mean, you got Tank Roach for the same price that you get 2 pay-per-view cards.
Exactly.
That's true.
I think, I think, like, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that Canelo wasn't fighting in Saudi, then I think it could have been housed in one city here, mainly either whether it be New York or Vegas, and then you'd be paying that amount of money or $100, but you'd get all those fights on one night.
Okay,
absolutely, and that's the reason why Theo and Ryan aren't training with Reynoso, is because they would be in the same camp as Canelo, and he's not going to choose them for Canelo just out of respect. So that and loyalty. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. And this is early prediction. Me and Hit Kid is working on a prediction league that we're gonna have an IBFP prediction league. So we're gonna have Still, Hit, me, Clavo, everybody, GMO, Edgar, Park Street. We're gonna put it all up there so we can see who's winning. And I'm not worried about nobody, because if I don't know. I do. The only person I'm a little worried about is Still, because he's right on. He gonna euthanize both of them boys. So I can't go against that. All right. So anyway, we're gonna do an early prediction, a preview. Who is more likely to get upset? Teofimo, Barboza, Ryan against Raleigh, or Haney against Ramirez? Who's most likely to get the L in that fight? And we're talking about all the favorites: Ryan, Teo, or Haney.
I got T.O. I'm T.O. for sure.
T.O.
the highest.
You mean I'm gonna go with Haney.
Damn,
that ain't a bad pick.
That's not a bad pick.
You know why? Listen.
Listen.
Haney got exposed in that fight against Ryan. Like, Ryan gave everyone the blueprint to beat that man. It is literally walk up to him and punch him as hard as you can. He has no chin. It is suspect at this point. So anyone that's in the right weight range and has any sort of pop can literally go up to that man and euthanize him, like fucking Steele said.
The only counter to that, and I'm right, and you're correct. This is what I would always tell dudes at the gym when I go down there. Like, your chin can't do push-ups. Don't play with me. Your chin cannot do push-ups. Don't play. That's all I'm saying. You can be big, buff, tough guy you want. Your chin can't do push-ups. I'm going to tap dance on your face. Don't do it. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you is this. Haney made one big mistake in that Ryan fight. He didn't keep his hands up. Basic fundamentals. And normally he's normally precise on everything he does. I'm not a big Haney fan, but I can't take that away from him. He's pretty precise on how he handles his fundamentals. I think he's going to fix that. I think Haney's going to fix that. I think he's going to keep his fucking hands up because he knows what can happen now. He's going to be extra defensive on that end. And I think it's going to be much harder to get to. You got to be fast enough to be able to land that shot on Haney at this point. And and you're gonna have some kind of footwork. I don't think Jose Ramirez can do it.
Well, the thing about Devin Haney is the majority of the people that he was fighting was either old or he was taller than them, and he had the height advantage and the reach advantage. When
and
he
the weight.
fought somebody his age that had the length and the height and the speed, he got touched. So it was a combination of all of those things. It wasn't just the speed of Ryan Garcia. It was the youth, and it was the height, and it was the length. And Ramirez has that, and he will touch Haney. Now, do I think that Haney can fix that right hand? Yes, I think that he can fix that. So, but that's the only part that I disagree with.
I mean, bro, but Devin Haney also broke character. He was trying to do some fighting on the inside. You don't have the power for that, bro. You a pure boxer. You fight from mid-range to the outside. That's where he also made a mistake too. So if he can go back and he can fix that, bro, there's some things you can't change about a fighter. When you're a pure boxer, there ain't much you can change. Now when you're a boxer puncher, sometimes you will have pressure fighter properties. Sometimes you may have a fucking pure boxer like Bud. Bud is the fucking, he was a boxer puncher that can go pure boxer. You know what I mean? Canelo's a fucking boxer puncher that can go to pressure. So I mean, but Devin Haney, you're just a fucking pure boxer, bro. You're not gonna be able to get on the inside. You need to stay on that, stay as on the outside, because behind all that, you're hiding a glass chin.
He's hiding a glass chin. You're right, but the only thing I'm scared of is from Teofimo a little bit, is because I don't know what to expect from him. And then isn't Barboza? He got. Remember, I'm gonna take this from Steele. He don't like fighting tall guys.
I'm picking Tio though.
I mean, that's basically what I gotta go with. I gotta go with Tio because also, man, Steve Claggett was right there in front of you. And you couldn't get him out. So Barboza's gonna be another one. So I mean, I think this one might be the one. I think it's gonna be Tio. I'm hoping Devin maybe learned and maybe he'll do something different against Ramirez. But we'll also see that. But that's a good one too.
Are we talking about who's more likely to get upset on the May 3rd card?
Yes. Who's more likely to lose?
It is absolutely Teofimo Lopez.
I think he can stop.
The other two.
But
I mean, you said he's going to get stopped. GMO said he's going to get stopped.
I like that.
For sure.
I like that.
I think he can stop.
I don't know about that. Like,
I mean, nobody's ever stopped Theo, man, but that'll be some shit.
I gotta hear this breakdown. You think he's gonna get stopped? That's crazy. I haven't heard this one. Talk to me.
Me personally, I think he gets stopped because here's the thing. Tio has lapses, especially when it comes to defense, and with this matchup that's coming up. I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, I could be the minority with this, but I think he's going to have lapses in his defense, and it's going to show in the later rounds. And with that pressure that's in the later rounds is going to show up, he is going to get stopped based off accumulation, or he'll quit on the stool based off that. So that's just my minority opinion, but based on what I've been seeing him so far leading up to this fight, I think he gets stopped. So
oh my goodness.
I fuck with that.
Boy, if Teofimo quit on the stool, I wouldn't even know. I would just be, my God. Like if he lost a decision, but quitting on a stool, oh my God. He's going to take this boy's soul.
So my thing is, I have all three winning, but if I had to go which one I have the greater upset chance on, it's definitely Teofimo, because I have Ryan knocking Rolly the fuck out. I think
Ryan is the obvious winner.
Rolly is absolute trash, and I stand by that. I think Haney beats Ramirez. I can understand it. Ramirez should really try and make that into a slugfest.
Right, he has to make it an inside fight, a dirty fight, like
I think
a real like.
Yeah, I think Haney's going to outbox him.
I don't know because I think after that fight he has, after that fight, the look on his face,
He'll have demons over that fight with Ryan. Let me be
like-
clear. He'll have demons over it. No,
right. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like I think.
Like that.
Right, I think he's
ridiculous.
right. I think he still has demons in his head about that whole ordeal, about that how that all
He
played
wants
out for
to
him.
make it right. He wants to make it right. That's why these two guys.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's got it in him, kid. I don't know if he has it in him.
We're gonna find out. We'll find out May the 3rd if he's got it in him. But I think Haney will win by unanimous decision. Barboza Tio is I edge it Tio because he's been in there with a better resume, and I think it's the age-old thing with Teofimo Lopez. What Teofimo Lopez do we get? If we get the one which is motivated, perform, destroy Josh Taylor, beat Lomachenko, then I think Tio's gonna walk Barboza.
No, but even when you look at my fault. Go ahead.
But here's the thing: will we get the Teofimo Lopez that got struggled against Claggett, robbed Sandor Martin, and robbed Jermaine Ortiz? Robbed both those guys. Like that's the truth. If we get that Tio, then do I think Barboza can pull out a unanimous decision? Yeah, because here's the thing. Barboza's last fight against Catterall, although close, I will still say it, Catterall fought the wrong fight, and even he admitted he came out, he said it himself on socials, 5 days after the fight. I didn't perform to the best of my ability. I let my fans down. I let myself down. I think that's a fight Catterall would want back immediately.
Still, what were you going to say, Still?
No, I'll just take that paradigm real quick between with Jack Catterall and Arnold Barboza, man. They're both counter punchers. They're not really Jack Catterall likes to keep a reasonable amount of distance between him and his opponent and walk you into a shot. If you can outland someone who just naturally has that style, that's your fight identity as a counter puncher, and who kind of likes to work outside of your range of touching them. How you think he's gonna do when someone who's just one-dimensional and flat-footed is a Teofimo Lopez? You dig? That's my biggest thing. And we see, like you said, you said Jermaine Ortiz. Look how vulnerable he looked in front of that dude.
Tio's gonna struggle. I definitely think it's the closest fight on that card.
I do too.
It is a close fight. I'm not gonna deny it.
And when you look at Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, they're not necessarily dudes who like to tap dance from the outside. They both looking to close distance on you and do significant damage to you. You dig? They looking to exactly. They looking to brawl out. Arnold Barboza is not trying to step in behind no jabs. He's not looking to sit down on hooks and overcommit to uppercuts and none of that shit in the pocket. He's trying to keep you behind them straight shots. And if Teofimo cannot, and which we all know that he can't close distance, I can't see how Teofimo is going to win this fight. I could be wrong again. And if I'm wrong, it is what it is. Shit happens, but
it's going to be a real. That's the fight I'm most excited for on May 3rd.
Okay, I got two more. I got two more questions for the panel. One, do you think that if Rolly Romero, because Ryan Garcia leaves his chin wide open, wide up in the air, he's hittable. Do you think if Rolly lands clean, can you see Ryan on the canvas at some point in this?
Hey, Rolly can punch.
Who look better against Tank, Ryan or Rolly?
Rolly.
Wait, Nuke. You're asking if we're gonna see Ryan on the canvas, or if are you asking whether we're gonna see Ryan get stopped on the canvas?
No, and not that he gets stopped. I mean, anything's possible. I'm asking more so of, does Raleigh have what it takes to put Ryan down as far as dropping him, just hurting him, putting him on the canvas? We've seen him hurt against Luke Campbell. We've seen him quit against Tank Davis. Can Raleigh hit Ryan with something? Because Ryan's very hittable. People forget Ryan was fighting a Devin Haney who didn't have no power. This guy got some pop. Is he going to be able to tap that chin and put Ryan on the canvas at any point in this fight?
And he stunned him, if you remember.
I don't think so. But that's just me.
What do you think,
GMO? There's a possibility that Raleigh could drop Ryan. Yes, of course, but that doesn't mean he's going to win. But yeah, I mean, Ryan is definitely defensively irresponsible. He leaves the chin up in the air, like you said. Raleigh does have, what I like to say, retarded strength. Because his
Yeah.
strength just carry up. You know what I'm saying? He'll next thing you know, he'll throw a punch out of nowhere and it'll just drop you. So he does have effect on fighters. So
Man,
And
man,
did Tank say Riley hit him the hardest or no?
I
He
think
praised his
I
power
think
at
so.
some point. I don't remember.
Yeah, he did.
Here's what I will say though, and this is just me. I think Tank. So the thing is, I never really consider that Tank Ryan fight a proper fight because it wasn't. I'm sorry, it just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
With all the rehydration and weight classes, yes, Ryan quit. I'm not going to deny that, but I would never say that is like full Ryan Garcia we saw against Tank Davis because it's not. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and anyone saying it was full Ryan Garcia that fought Tank Davis, you're a Tank Davis not hugger. Okay,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, he quit, and I lost a little respect for him that night.
No,
You'll quit in that situation. You'll quit in anything.
I agree on that. I agree on that point. But pretty much, it's like the one against Luke Campbell, yeah. But with Raleigh, we've just not seen it. He just got his ass handed to him, in his last fight with Raleigh.
All right.
Like you're saying, we're asking the question: can Ryan take Raleigh's punch? I think we can all agree. Raleigh, if Ryan wants that left hook, Raleigh's going
It's over.
Sleep.
It's over. Raleigh going to.
Bro,
this is the shadow realm.
Bro, this is the fight of the morons, bro. There's the possibility that they can both put each other on the mat once or twice in the fight, which will make it entertaining, bro.
Yeah.
But I think either or can actually drop each other. There's a good possibility. Both of them ain't too good defensively either. So let's see. Let's see if hopefully everything goes good. No fucking popping for Austrian at the end as well. Let's just see what happens.
That's right. That's right. And Ryan, come back with a clean piss test. I don't want to go through this shit again.
Yo, Mirage, why the fuck are you so quiet, bro?
Because he don't like talking in boxing. That's not Benavidez. But now I'm going to switch.
Those fights not relevant. I've got standards. Those fights aren't relevant,
I
man.
expect Mirage to participate in this. And I know people don't like to talk about it, but Canelo versus William Skull, everybody has it a foregone conclusion for Canelo Alvarez, even myself. But I'm a guy that likes to look at things different. What the fuck does William Skull needs to do to upset Canelo on the night and shock the world? What does William Skull need to do? I mean, I know some people say jump into another body, but we know that's not going to happen. Is there anything he can do to better his chances on the night of the fight against Canelo to maybe win some rounds or try to get an upset? Anybody, somebody.
In my opinion, the unthinkable, which is to knock out Canelo.
That's get some fair judges.
That's the only way.
Get rid of the Canelo judges.
Other than that, he got no chance. You got to stop, knock out Canelo.
Shut up, Mirage.
Other than that, no chance.
So GMO say he has no chance. Say nothing he can do. Edgar Park Street still hit. Is there anything William Skull can do to better his chances to get an upset?
He could go and borrow Louis Resto's gloves when he fought Billy Conn. That's about it, man. Like other than that, he out of there, bro. Actually, I think he's gonna go 12. I don't think Canelo was about to. I think Canelo was done knocking people out. I just think he's just gonna beat the ever living shit out of fucking.
Is he going to carry him like he carried Munguia and Belanga? That's going to be the line, your excuse that you're going to run with.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh, he's so respectful in the press conference.
David Benavidez. How about that?
Carry him.
If Canelo fights David Benavidez, he'll knock him the fuck out.
No.
Pity's never going to fight him. Pity.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth as well, and this is a real cold truth. Something William Skull could not do is Skull likes to. He's not that much of a puncher as Skull. That's something people need to realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he won the title in his last fight, in the 12th round he backed up a lot.
That was a controversial win.
Yeah, and he was poor in that fight. He ain't gonna be a guy who's gonna look to fight on the inside with Canelo. He's gonna look to Caleb Plant Canelo, if I'm allowed to say it. But I think Plant's a slicker fighter. I think Plant's a better boxer. And there'll be moments where he's gonna bite down and gonna have to fight. That's the truth. It was the same with Plant, before he got by Canelo. I overall think, and listen, you always want to give a fighter a puncher's chance, because I think that's very unfair if you say they've got no chance in hell. You get where I'm coming from? Because that just makes a total one-sided fight. But on this occasion, I think Skull's going to need a miracle. I think he's getting, and I actually don't think this is going to the judges. I think Canelo's going to stop Skull.
I agree with that. I think Skull is going to try to fight like a Timu Lara. He's Cuban background. He's going to try to fight like a Timu Mar.
No. I'll take.
I mean, he is a pure boxer.
The end of him.
Yeah,
for doing that.
Skull's gonna try and pull a Jamel Charlo, and he's gonna get caught.
All right. That last question for the panel. So Mike Hoppinger came out and basically said that Usyk Dubois looks like it's about to happen. Give you a little background on it. I thought, and I know you guys are going to try to destroy me for this, but I thought Dubois won the last fight. I thought it was a legal body shot. I thought he stopped Usyk, and then I'm gonna get it. I'm just telling you, I thought he stopped Usyk, and then he got stopped, which is crazy.
No,
But anyway,
I actually agree. No, I actually
No,
agree.
I agree too.
You can see
I
where
agree.
the shot landed. It wasn't down over there by the nuts.
Exactly. I thought it was a clean body shot.
It was clean.
Who wins the rematch in this, guys? Yeah. Who wins the rematch in this?
Usyk is gonna stop Dubois.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Yeah. Damn.
Oh man.
Usyk is gonna stop Dubois, bro. If you, because I'm like, what? I'm just seeing more aggression from Dubois. That's all I say. I just think he's a lot more effective in his pressure now, bro. But goddamn, when does that work against Usyk?
Yeah.
You know what though? You know what? Still, I don't know. I give. I'm gonna. Fuck. I would say it's 50-50, but I don't know. I might give the slight edge to Dubois only because Usyk just came off those 2 fucking 24 rounds with fucking Fury.
Man.
No, I'll get the controversy. Upset special. Dubois winning the undisputed title.
Damn.
The problem with Dubois is that
Boy,
he's weak.
Hit Kid got the biggest balls on the panel. He's picking Dubois.
I'll go with Dubois. Dubois can be hit. I'm not going to deny that. And Usyk can hit. I'm fully going to deny that. But I think this is a fight where, in a sense, I think Usyk won't be satisfied with any controversy. Usyk, in my opinion, in this fight, is going to attack. He's going to attack Dubois this fight. And
He's going to need to because he definitely lost that first fight.
No. If Usyk goes to a boxing mode and tries to break Dubois down, I think he will repeat what he did in the first fight. But I refuse to be told that Dubois didn't stop him in that first fight because that was a body shot. I'm sorry,
Definitely
it was a body shot. It was not a low blow. Anyone saying that was a low blow is a bullshit artist. Here's the reason why, though, I think that will suit Dubois because Usyk will go on the attack. He'll go into a brawl. And I will tell you right now who has the more power at the two. It's Dubois. And if Dubois lands on Usyk, I think he could knock him out.
Man, personally, man, when I watched the fight again, man, like I can see why y'all would say it was a clean shot, but I don't know, man. Usually people who get clipped to the body like that, their body language is telling you where they got hit at. I didn't see him grimacing, holding his stomach and all that. I didn't see all that, man. But I'm not gonna dismiss, y'all saying that it was a clean shot. The thing is, bro, he got to get in position to do that again. And if he think he's just gonna steamroll this dude like he did Joshua, that's not gonna happen, dog.
Here's the thing between these two fighters, right? They both have 2 kryptonites. Dubois is weak mentally. He folds under pressure, right? Usyk, as great as he is, he's weak to the body. So my money is still on Usyk to beat Dubois in the same fashion he did before, but Dubois still has a chance to go to the body. But like I said, Dubois is you can just beat him with a jab or fold him under pressure, and he'll just fold like that. So,
okay, you're talking about Dubois about 3 or 4 fights ago. Did he fold under pressure versus Miller when he was in trouble and getting walked down? And he had to really show grit. Was he mentally weak against Joshua when he just steamrolled him? His confidence now is leagues above it was the version you're talking about. So I think you're underestimating this new version of Dubois. He's not the same man.
I cannot believe that I'm going to agree with fucking Murad.
Pay attention, you get educated all the time. Pay attention in the future.
What the fuck?
Damn.
Dubois not gonna find that body shot again.
Damn, man, fuck me standing up, bro.
Now, still says Dubois not gonna find that same body shot again where he cleans and lands at the right time, the right place, everything lines up the right way. Here's the thing: immediately after the first Joshua fight, Usyk was talking about Joshua and how the performance, and said he expected more from Anthony Joshua. He wasn't being disrespectful, but he did say that he felt those body shots from AJ in the first fight. It makes you realize that Dubois is going to have the intelligence to be able to set up clean shots.
It's acceptable to the body. Can I just share? I just want to share my screen because I have another tab open, okay? And I'm not sure if it'll share it. I just want to try this, okay?
I bet not see big booty bitches on the screen, man.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna break your thing, okay? All right.
What the fuck is that?
That's my daughter, man. That girl's so fucking obnoxious, man.
Oh, it's all
God
good. Now it sounds like somebody was getting killed, fam.
There we are.
damn.
No. I thought Ashley Knuckles was back on the panel. My bad.
Can everyone see the screen I'm sharing right now?
No.
I guess it's not working. But pretty much, I'm looking at the clip, a still frame of, the supposed low blow. Okay? Which I don't think it was a low blow, but if you have a look, I've got the link here. I'll post it in the clip chat, okay? In the private right now, okay?
I mean, I don't went over it quite a few
You saw that
times.
7 seconds when the punch lands. That is directly on the belt line. I'm sorry, I still argue it to this day.
I just think Dubois has, a little extra motivation.
And here's the thing. Dubois is a much better to Mirage's point, which is why I'm shocked I'm agreeing with Mirage. Dubois is a completely different fighter now than he was 2 fights ago, since the first Usyk fight. Completely different, 180.
I mean, that's,
I didn't even mention the Hrgovic fight. The Hrgovic fight, he took a lot of punishment again. I didn't mention that.
I called that. I was on this panel, and I said Dubois is going to knock Hrgovic the fuck out. Nuke remembers that, because I was banging on about it, where people were saying it was 50-50 fight, and I was like, no, Dubois is going to knock him out, because Hrgovic is shit.
But do you see a significant, like a drastic change in Dubois' game, like from what we saw back then to what we saw from in comparison to the Miller fight? I just see somebody who's a lot more aggressive and assertive. It's not the same as Joseph Parker, who's clearly a different fighter, who's clearly worked on more nuances in his game.
Yeah,
that's a completely different, ballgame.
I mean, that's what makes me wish that that fight would have happened with Parker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the deal with Joseph Parker, and this is truthfully. And I really want to give a shout out here. Give a shout out to a guy who's going to be a future trainer of the year in Andy Lee.
Yeah.
He has absolutely transformed, Joseph Parker. That is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's why I think you'll see Andy Lee with a lot more big, like I know, what do you call it?
Shiraz
has gone with him. Ben Whitaker's gone with him. Like I think Andy Lee is doing a lot of good stuff,
Andy Lee came from what was the name of that gym again? God damn it. The gym in Detroit. Fuck.
Crunk.
Yes, Crunk Gym. Yeah. After he went to them, he became a problem. And if he takes that school onto his guys, it could lead to some good things.
I didn't know he was at the Crunk Gym, bro. I did not know that.
Rest in peace, Manny Stewart.
Rest in peace, Manny.
All right, last question for the panel, but then I got one from Mirage from Outstrike. Outstrike, type your comment again, and I'll go ahead and just say, here it is. Outstrike says, Mirage, if David is so great, if he retires right now, does he get into the Hall of Fame?
No, not at the moment, because he wasn't given the opportunities by Canelo and Bivens. They robbed him of the Hall of Fame legacy.
I was feeling you until you brought up fucking Canelo.
Hopefully in the future he's going to get the opponent.
Canelo Bivens, the reason why he won't make the fucking Hall of Fame.
Canelo's fault. Yeah, it's Canelo's fault and Bivens' fault.
No, I got to stand with Mirage on
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How dare you guys ignore the fact that David refused to unify before Canelo got into the division and make a name for himself? How dare you guys forget that when he was number 1 at 75 for Better BF, he said, "Fuck that shit. I don't want a title."
Yeah. So to answer the question, if Bivens suddenly finds his balls next year,
don't do that to him, guys.
If Bivens finds the balls and he gets in the ring with David obviously does his thing and beats him up, then he'll be pretty much in the Hall of Fame. So let's see. It's all on to Bivens. It's up to Bivol. I know
It's
you like
always
to
up
try to
to
blame
someone else
David.
besides him.
Bibel's
Why?
gonna beat the
Why
shit
is
out
it
of
always
David,
up to
and that's gonna
Why
be
is
the
it
end of that.
always on
Actually,
someone else besides
Because it
him?
takes
no,
two to
actually,
tango.
actually,
It takes
no,
two to
actually, it
tango.
was
That's
all up
why.
to your boy. I know, actually, it was all up to your boy, but your boy decided to spend a decade at 168 instead of
Yeah,
already
and
being
I don't
undisputed at
know.
175.
I
Bro,
don't know what
David
you
should already
guys.
been undisputed at 168 and at 175. He should
Yeah.
probably already be at cruiserweight right now.
All right,
Get the fuck out of here, Mirage.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Last question for the panel. Carlos said Mirage is talking like a Tasmanian devil. I don't know what that means. Last question is Jermell Charlo. What chances do you have him for getting to being king again at 154? He said, nobody beat me for my titles. I took a chance most boxers would deny. I knew they would strip me the second I stepped in the ring. And basically says, you know, he's ready to return and be king at his weight because he's never lost his titles at 154. What chances do you give Jermell Charlo of coming back and beating everybody to regain the throne at 154? What chance do you guys give him? 50%, 60%, 70%? What's his chances?
It's a whole new world out there today, bro.
New
It's a
guy,
whole
new
world.
guys.
Achu, Bakram. I still like Zoo's chances. Virgil is up there now.
Virgil.
Conwell, Zaya. It's a completely different ball game now. Madrimov. It's a completely different ball game, man. So, man,
I'm not counting him out because he already went undisputed once.
So why the fuck is he going to come back to 154? Why go
But at this
160?
point, it's father time. Park is father time at this point, bro.
Exactly. A year of well, he ain't fought since 2023.
I don't think you can counter a former.
24.
I don't think you can, counter a former undisputed champion at all. Because I think that's beyond disrespectful.
But even hit.
No. Here's the thing. But do I think he can run the table again and become undisputed? Absolutely not. If I had to give an answer,
the only way that it would be.
I have to go low. I have to say like 10%.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
The only feasible way would be for him to take on the weakest champion, which at this point would be Fundora, and then he'd have to petition to fight everyone else within a year so that he can regain the crown, which he's not going to do.
Was Jermell undisputed in a weak division?
But I have a question though.
I mean, Brian Castagna was.
All of these dudes
Brian Castagna was his hardest.
They all touched the canvas, and we can't say that none of them dudes is really stronger than Jermell Charlo. And we know that he's a knockout artist.
Right, but like I said, the only feasible option would be him taking Fundora, which is the weakest guy, and then somehow putting all the paperwork and all the legwork and putting the money aside, because if he puts money up as a wall, then the fights ain't getting made. He'd have to put all that shit aside and try to get it all done within a year or a year and a half max for it even to be a possibility. Because even if he took Fundora out and then he goes to the next sanctioning body and then all of a sudden the money starts, all these speed bumps start coming up, it's just going to delay the process, and father time is going to catch up.
Janabek Jermell at 160 if they made the fight.
Janabek for sure.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't he just go to 160, bro? I mean, your brother, your twin was up there. Go ahead and finish what he couldn't finish at 160.
Well, his nickname in the boxing world is Little Nuts, and maybe that explains why he don't want to go.
I mean, I gotta respect Jermell more than Jamal, man. That's for sure.
Oh, I hate Jamal.
Definitely.
So I mean, but I do agree with Gooch, man. I mean, right now the 154, bro, that motherfucker just got hit with so many motherfuckers right now. It is not the same of who we fought before for these other fucking titles. So no, they ain't. I'm not like y'all said. Only fucking Sebastian Fundora will probably be the only one. But bro, go to 160, man. Take that belt from fucking old ass Lara already, bro. Fight Janibek. He's unified. That motherfucker ain't got nobody to fight, man.
That's it. And we're about to check out for today. The only thing I'll say is, man, for all the upcoming fights, all you guys send me your predictions. I'll put them on the show. We definitely want any predictions you got on any fights, man, because those make waves. And anything else you guys want to discuss, please send it to me, because everybody loves all of you guys' content. You guys really bring some heat. And I really feel like a couple still had a few people in their feelings, and I was loving that. because some people message me about some still. I've had people say still, and man, this dude's the truth. You should make sure you always post this content. Then I had a guy, man, fuck still. He don't know shit about TFMO, so that means you did something right. So that's all I'm saying. That means you're doing something right.
Yeah, he a whole ass dude. Whoever it was two of them, bro. Like, man, y'all some cocksockers, man. Fuck out of here. Fuck both of y'all.
Well, I kind of get jealous, man, because I got nothing but positive, which is good, man. I got nothing but positive. I only got one idiot who asked me, Claudio, have you ever laced them up, or are you just one of these other fanboys that just talk boxing without knowing? I'm like, look, fam, have I laced them up? Yes. Organized street fights with homeboys, I've laced them up, but most of my fights have been bare knuckle in the streets and in prison, bro. So I've had my fair take, but does that mean I can't talk the facts? Nah, y'all motherfuckers being stupid, dog. And talking about that, I got the next content coming up, man.
I'm ready. I'm ready, waiting on it. God send it in. And that same guy asked me the same question. Nuke, have you ever laced him up? I told him I laced him up with his mama. It only went one round. Salute, guys. We're out.
Good night, y'all.
Have a good one.